Oh man, buckle up, everybody. All right, see if you can scoot over here. See, I gave him the nice chair. I'm sitting on a stool. All right, I'll start category Taco Bell menu. Okay, yes. So I labeled the chat tonight. Jared ranks everything. Now the goal was to kind of keep it pinball focused, but we'll see how that goes. Jared, if it's not obvious, Jared rolled in all of 30 seconds ago.
What's up, guys?
Oh yeah, I literally had to remember JK is Jared. Yes, Jared. Welcome everybody. Thanks so much for being here. I really had no idea. I really don't know what tonight's going to be like. So tonight's going to be a fun one. I've done a lot of chatting streams with a lot of other people in pinball, and Jared gives me a hard time because he's like, I mean, if you want me on the podcast, if you want me to do a chatting stream, I'll do it. So we're doing it. We're doing it. I realize now, just to confuse things, I am Joel, and that is Jared. So I probably should have switched the names. Jared, I would recommend looking up there.
Is that what we're looking right now?
Chat. Okay. Yeah.
I'm still not used to the sexy camera.
I know. Team Asil, Joel, I bought so many of those RSVL shirts that you mentioned on stream. Dude, I know. Jared has one. He's probably going to get more. This is one. Yeah. This is actually a Batman one. It's subtle. Nice. It's subtle. They're subtle. They're so great. Brian, how you doing, man? Pete, I love it, man. Nacho Bell. Oh, we're talking Taco Bell. Well, we'll talk. Sure, Jared. Jared was all in on Taco Bell in college.
I'm still all in on Taco Bell.
But in college, you were definitely all in on Taco Bell.
Well, yeah, for $5, so you could get fill up.
What was your $5 meal when you had?
I feel like it was 3 soft tacos, or no, 3 hard tacos. No lettuce, of course. Lettuce is for rabbits. And then that was back in the day when they had the dollar menu that had the like cheap nachos you could buy for like $2, and they put some enchilada sauce on it or something. And
That was it.
Living the dream.
Taco Bell, all in, all out. Yep. Yep. Gotta go to work, boys. I'll watch the replay. Just wanted to say, thanks to Zach. Oh, dude, Game Room of the Month. Awesome, man. Okay, so what are we doing tonight? It's a great question. Honestly, if you guys have stuff you want to talk about, we're happy to do it. But I did kind of want to pick Jared's mind a little bit about pinball, believe it or not. There is one thing I do want to point out real quick, and this is a terrible view to show it in because we're fitting 2 very large men in one camera. But if I move my head, do you see how the wall is now on fire?
Oh,
where is it?
Colors.
The wall is now on fire.
Woo.
Why is that? If Jared moves his head, do you see how that wall's blue? That's because it's going off of those speaker lights. If we go off mine, look at the wall. It's on fire. Look at wall, Michael. The wall is on fire, and the wall is matching the speaker lights. And the question is, why is that? Let me show you. That is because here, Measle Mods. Measle Mods now has a kit. What's going on is Pinwoofer. Dan at Pinwoofer is awesome. He was all about audio, but now he's started to make speaker lights with the audio. And with that, he has these super cool boards where he can basically tap into different data, pull it, and then use it. So this is like a hub that would be used. So I kind of challenge them on, I love the way the speaker lights look. Kaz, appreciate it, man. I love the way the speaker lights look in Godzilla. God, this was terrible.
Yeah, what are we doing?
And I love the way that looked. And so let me, there we go. Yeah, there he goes. I love the way that looks. So the question is, can you tap into that and then put that on rails that go on the back of the game and then under cab lighting? And the answer is yes, you can. So what's cool is Measle Mods actually sells or works with Doug at Speaker Light Kits. So the Godzilla flaming frames, those are actually from Speaker Light Kits. That's what this is. Doug sells those. They're awesome. There's an awesome product. You've seen a lot of these in a lot of Godzillas. But then if you go with Measle Mods actually works with the Pinwoofer guy, Dan, getting these Pixel Wave hubs and splitters. And so they are now going to sell a product where you can grab that data from the speaker lights and then shine it all over your wall. And I'm all in. I love them. So this kit is not available as of right now, but it's coming soon. So if you happen to have these speaker lights or any speaker lights from Doug at Speaker Light Kit, you can extend that data onto the wall. Last thing I want to say about it is these two speaker lights are different. You can see they're different. They're different animations. So it's actually copying both. So it's kind of out of frame, but what's going on this side of my back box and what's going on the other side are different because they're matching both speakers. So if you want to put light on your wall, you should do it. You should do it. Yeah. So definitely check that out. Definitely check this out, and then check out Pinwoofer's, the Pixel Wave stuff as well. I just love the way it makes my game look.
I would say that's a pretty good shill for Joel. I mean,
yeah,
he
man.
is passionate about colors and lights. So good job, Joel.
Yeah. I am. So Pinwoofer, this is the last little thing. Speaker lights there. There you go. There's all the shill. Check all that out. If you have any questions, feel free to hit me up. I'm happy to do it. But or answer any questions. So what do we have here? This past Monday I had blood drawn, and they stuck me in the danger call. Oh, I used that danger call out from TNA. Yeah. That's awesome. But has he seen the offer? No, neither of us have seen the offer yet. Okay.
I almost got the free trial of Paramount this week.
Just for
and then
this.
I didn't realize I had any time to watch it. So.
Pinwong, fire your producer. Why? Because we used one camera for two people. I thought about setting up two separate cameras and actually having set us further apart, but I didn't. So,
no, and I think we've gotten kind of used to standing weirdly close to each other during streams. Yeah. Whatever.
All right. So question number 1 for Jared, because this is the plan right here. This is the plan. This is what we're going to do today.
Oh my goodness.
I know, another spreadsheet. Everybody loves spreadsheets, right? Everybody loves
spreadsheet.
But what this is what we're going to do. So what is conserving heat? Yes, it's a little cold down here. Kirk Hobbs, how you doing, man? Travis, it works for, the sitting close. Yeah. Travis, we're going to talk about Labyrinth for sure. But
yeah, we're going to talk about Labyrinth.
Cuddle up. So this is a list of games. This is the list of games that I have had in my possession. So it's the games I currently own. It's the games I've owned and sold. And it's all the games that I've borrowed. So what I am curious of, because people ask all the time, they're like, Joel, you've gone through a lot of games, you borrowed a lot of games. Are there any games you miss? Are there any games you miss having? Or are there any games that you want to get back on stream? You know, like that kind of thing. And I'm very curious to hear if there's games that I've had that Jared misses. So we're going to go through this list and we're going to talk about, like, honestly, I'm very curious to see how many of these games Jared even remembers, because he didn't really care too much about it. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to do that a little later. But I do have 2 things real quick that I want to ask. So question number 1 for Jared. I'm really curious about your thoughts.
My thoughts
on a DMD versus an LCD screen.
Okay, which one? DMD is old school, right?
DMD would be this,
okay,
Cactus Canyon. That is Canyon. A DMD. So dot matrix display. So dot animations.
Yeah.
Versus the modern LCD screen era. When you step up, like, if in a perfect world, what is your perfect display? Like, what display do you actually enjoy the most?
So I'm going to kind of say, I think it's one of those where it depends on the game and the vibes that they're going for. So I would say this. I do like with the DMDs where they're doing the upsizing.
Like this?
The that's cool.
DMD XL? Yeah.
Because it comes down to, right? It's like, why do they keep making video games with pixel art? Like, because it's awesome. And it's an art form. And there's like...
Spinal Tap has an LCD and a DMD.
Things you could do.
Yeah.
So I think that's cool. But at the same time, how is it hard? It's hard for me to say, like, Jaws, like, is awesome because of all the footage, the footage from it. So it's almost one of those, if it's like a currently, like, it's a licensed movie or something where they have lots of video that they're pulling from. Awesome. Like, that would make no sense to then make a DMD. But if it was like a new property, let's say, you know, like Cactus Canyon, right? Like, there's no movie of Cactus Canyon. They're just making sweet, cool art for it. I don't know. I know that sounds like it's sitting on the fence, but it's where I go, like, the art form's the art form, man.
So you think it depends on the game? Because so P3 multimorphic. I've talked about a P3 before. P3 has the lower 2/3 is a screen.
Yep.
P3 just announced that they are releasing Princess Bride.
Ah.
So the Princess Bride stream actually shows that they have all the rights to the movie. So almost every single mode that is unique to, so I have this pulled up a little bit. Every single mode that's unique to the movie, they are playing movie clips.
So this
all throughout the mode.
This isn't like the normal P3 where it's the interchangeable thing.
It is. So that back part is interchangeable.
They can change that backboard on that thing.
Yeah. So these are all magnets.
That's neat.
Yeah. So the P3, but there's pros and cons to this. Some people are like, if I have a movie theme, I want to see the movie. Like they want to watch the whole movie in the game, while other people are like playing or watching a full clip every single time you play that mode is too much. So do you think, if you think back to the games that I've had, do you feel like there's been any games that show too much video clip that you got bored of it, or where's that balance for a display for you?
Let me think. Well, what's funny is where you have the fake DMDs, right? So Deadpool, I always think of as a fake DMD.
Well, that was they pixelated.
Yeah, it's pixelated art.
All
the
art.
Kind of going for like that vibe. Have there been pinball machines with too much of the movie going on? Yes. I'm trying to think, but
you're trying to think of an example.
That's where examples, because the thing is I think they're getting better at it.
Okay.
Because I think they're being much more selective on the scenes and it's like shorter clips. They're being a lot more judicious, let's say, with it. So, because it probably was one of those things where it's like, okay, hey, we have an LCD screen, cool. Put all the movie on it. Like, this is great. And then when we were talking to the other day when she was working on Jaws, and she's like,
Elizabeth,
like she's finding like, I want this clip, I want this thing. And so, and it works, and they're short, and it's not like going on too long. So it's probably it's probably more the older games that I think was more of an issue of this, because they're getting better at it, right? Because it's like, okay, we can do everything. Let's do everything. Oh, maybe we don't need to do everything. Unfortunately, the thing that came up to me, which was too much, was Godfather, and no hate on that game, but gosh darn it, there was a lot going on screen. But that's a whole nother discussion.
So let me see if I can find a mode here. But if during the mode, while you're playing, it's basically showing clips of that. The back box is showing clips of that. There's just a lot of clips in there, and some people are like, "This is incredible that I'm seeing all the clips," but then other people are like, "I don't want to get bored of the movie. Like I don't want to be watching the movie the whole time I'm playing the game."
I know a game, Hobbit.
Hobbit has too much or too little?
Too much.
Oh, okay.
There's too much going on in Hobbit.
Okay.
It's because it's a distracting thing. And so even just looking at that, like I know P3, it's in a different, interesting situation because that bottom 2/3 of the playfield never changes. So they're kind of forced into, hey, we need to put stuff here, and we have all this open space. Let's use it. It makes sense for what they're trying to do.
Okay.
But just watching that short clip, I was getting stressed out about everything going on.
So T-Dog said, let me say Elvira nailed it. People who play it or watch it love it.
Yes.
And I do think there's a balance there, but
Elvira does other good things too, because they add all those interesting little characters. They look like claymation. It's not claymation, but there's framing to it, and it's not just like boom, Elvira movie, bah. They added a lot
telling
more
a story
around
clips.
it. Yeah.
I just know that when I think of art, like as an artist, what appeals to me is DMD. I just think DMD art is so like, honestly, Stern, some of the animations in some of the latest Stern games are incredible. They're incredibly well done, or they blend in really well. Of like, was that actually a clip from a movie, or like where did that come from, kind of thing. So some of them are really well done, but I've never looked at a scene or part of a Stern game and thought like, I want to screenshot that and set it as my background, or I want that printed off and put on a T-shirt.
Yeah.
But DMD art's completely different, because it's kind of like how certain video games, you think of like Celeste and Super Meat Boy and stuff, like they leaned into the pixelated stuff and it becomes its own art form. So Joel's a fan of dots. I am. And I just feel like,
pretty cool.
Even though, here in Cactus Canyon, even though it's much more basic, I just think visually, I just love it. And so the only reason I brought this up is there are games like The Big Lebowski that they took movie clips, but they made them out of dots. And I just think from an art form standpoint, if Stern remade Lord of the Rings, Jared, if Stern remade Lord of the Rings right now is a DMD game. If you could decide this for everybody, would you rather have Stern put in an LCD screen and actually pull clips from the movie? Or would you rather Stern take the DMD animations that are already in the game, colorize them, and put them in an XL screen?
See, this is where I lean towards you. I want to see people do cool stuff with it. And then you can make the art what you need it to be for... And Lord of the Rings is a bad example. There's, 12 hours of that movie that exists out there? I mean, if you do, like, the entire 3 trilogies.
Yeah.
Like... Maybe like compared to Jaws. Jaws can get away with it because it's like scenes of the beach, scenes of them talking to each other, a couple like small things, right?
Sure.
Get away with it. Lord of the Rings? Orc multi-ball. Okay, which one of the 19 million clips?
Yeah, they got a ton of clips.
Do you take, or do you just go, here's some really cool orc art that we're gonna make and do some cool stuff with? So it kind of, I don't know. I guess, and I'm old. Let's just put it. I think that's part of it too. It's a nostalgia thing,
Dork
right?
multi-ball. No.
Dork multi-ball.
So I think of Tron. I think of Ghostbusters. I think of Lord of the Rings. If I could snap my fingers right now and tell Stern, "Hey, you are remaking the game. You're putting in an XL DMD and you're colorizing the DMD art that's already in there." That's what. Like, I would just do that. Yeah. I don't personally feel that Ghostbusters would be better if they pulled clips from the movie, or even Lord of the Rings would be better if we have Elijah Wood on screen. I just don't, when I'm playing a pinball machine, I don't really care for that. But what I found is a DMD rendered version of, it seems like a new art form that fits pinball so much better. And I really love that. But an interesting question, because Travis is part of Labyrinth, and Labyrinth has 2 screens.
Yeah.
But do you think you would have enjoyed Labyrinth more or less if the actual clips weren't in the game and it was all DMD, like custom generated art?
See, now this is where we're getting into y'all just being a bunch of pinball nerds discussion, right? Because
no, not that Travis. Travis, the engineer for Labyrinth. Yeah.
Yeah, Travis isn't. He can barely run a camera. Let's be honest. Right? Because Labyrinth is really cool. But I think the movie sets itself up well for clips and small things. What if they? But here's the thing: if they decide to go DMD, cool. Give me. I mean, it would maybe change something visually about the game.
Sure.
But then if you look at the art package that they use on there, it's a very busy art package trying to tell a story. It's really cool, and then they use the clips more as a just, hey, this is part of. But they aren't like even retelling the movie per se. You know, they made a conscious decision of it's your adventure, right?
Okay.
So they're using the clips more as just being like, okay, you're going into the dungeon. Here we go, and you're ready to go. Put this in the context of Magic. Trust me, there's a lot of discussion on art and Magic.
Yeah,
and there's a lot of black border versus white border. Yeah, we can. That's a whole discussion.
Yeah, no. So. I don't know why I thought of this week, and I was just curious of Jared's opinion. But I think, I think there are even some of the unlicensed theme out there. People are putting a lot of time into trying to do really. They're trying hard to make really good 3D renderings, and I'm just sorry, but if a 3D rendering is not literally movie quality, then it looks to be cell phone quality. And it just instantly looks like a Java game, or it just doesn't look as good. But I feel like, what if they put in that same amount of time and energy and actually stylized it? Kind of like what Deadpool did and went pixelated. Or kind of like just embrace and go DMD and put some artistic flair in there. I don't know. I just like the DMD art, and maybe I was just curious to hear Jared's opinion there. So Jared literally brought Magic cards. He brought his
Well,
binder.
I wanted to show you one thing, but if Pinball says that's racist.
Yeah.
This is white border. This is black border, okay? There's difference in when the years they were printed, okay? And I'm not holding up a dual land as a flex, but it's a little bit of a flex. What up, suckers?
Yeah, I bet maybe 3 people. If you know what that, if holding up that card made you happy, or like you were impressed by that card, please leave a comment. Please leave a comment.
Oh, and I also was flexing a little because this is artist signed too. Yeah.
That's Jared's new thing. He's all in on lands, and he's all in on getting things signed. So, all right. I don't know. I'm curious. It was some good chat there, but if you're watching this afterwards, DMD or LCD, I just, there's talks of like Spike 3. But honestly, like if Stern dropped LCD and went to XL DMDs, I would be okay with that. And it's nothing. I've talked to some of the animators at Stern, and it's not like Foo Fighters animation was awesome, but that's because it was stylized. They stuck with everything was hand drawn. Everything was hand drawn and animated accordingly, and that style, really sparked, like it really made me happy. Well, like Jaws is good. Don't get me wrong. I think Jaws has found a good balance of putting in movie clips and giving us pinball information. What's going on? What are we doing?
Yeah.
But like when I think of like that, like I want the art in that, like Monster Bash. I've been really intrigued about buying Monster Bash just because I love the art in it. Like so many of the things, like Shoot Again, just the lettering and the colors. That it just brings me joy. So that's probably enough of that. But
oh, for the haters out there, I own an Alpha Basic Planes. It's not that expensive, but what up? Come on. God, okay. Don't come up in my joint.
Talking trash. Here we go.
And the person hating on the Savannah, get out of here, you blue players. Whatever. Tired of it.
Okay, so this is what we're gonna do. And by all means, please. Oops, impressed. Yeah. Okay, so this is what we're gonna do. Please tell us if we're right or wrong. But I'm gonna open this. Enjoy the sound. Ooh,
see, I open mine like away because I'm a professional pinball streamer.
Okay, keep the LCD where it is. Put a DMD in the backboard.
Mm-hmm.
I will say having that extra display in Labyrinth was incredible. Having the extra displays like in Toy Story or Guns N' Roses, something like that to explain where to go. Like already,
your spreadsheet
already
is
good.
Wrong.
Yeah. Everybody hates on spreadsheets. Everybody hates it.
Why is your spreadsheet wrong?
Nothing's wrong.
You put golden tea on there. That's
I did. I put everything that I've borrowed.
Okay.
So we're gonna roll through this, and it's just honestly, I want to hear, like, what do you remember about the game, Jared?
Hot takes.
What do you miss about it?
Missing.
And then this is what's going on. Why top 6? Why top 6?
Top 6.
I'm here because I thought Jared was doing Magic tonight. Yeah.
I mean, I can talk about Magic.
Why did I put top 6? The reason being is I can own 4 games. I can fit 4 games in the basement, so that's what these first 4 are. And then the bottom 2 are which games go at mom and dad's house. I said games because we already have 1, but maybe I can push in another one. So that's how we got top 6.
I predict in the next 12 months you'll have another one over there.
That I would be all for it, and they're just I don't know what to say. So I'm gonna go ahead and put Turtles Pro because that's what's already there.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna put my other 3 in my top 6 because there's a reason I own them. So I'm gonna go ahead and fill out my first ones. But I'm gonna let Jared fill his out as we go here. So
interesting.
Paste special values. Here we go. Oh, nice. Doesn't that just look good? Boom. Okay, so.
And may I add, if you only watch the Flipping Out with Friends stream, remember, I am the idiot brother that has started to stream with Joel in the last, it's been a little over a year now, because I happened to move close. Okay?
Yep.
And he has sucked me into this stupid pinball thing. Okay?
And he loves it. He's there.
Yeah.
He's there every week, just chomping at the bit. So
I put some time on Jaws.
Let's bounce around a little bit. The very first game I owned,
Avatar. I don't even remember playing it.
Do you remember Avatar at all?
We can. I remember it being blue.
It was blue.
It was very blue.
It was blue.
It was a very blue machine. I could not tell you anything beyond that. I couldn't tell you what the layout looks like. No, yeah. So Avatar,
okay.
Move on.
So the question to me, do I miss Avatar? No. Reason I do not miss Avatar is it's a 1-ball game. To get to the wizard mode, there are, I think, 6 things you have to do.
Okay.
And all of those reset if you drain.
Ugh.
So what's the point of having 3 balls? It's not like you can slowly work your way like check, check, check. No, it's the more you play, you literally could get 5 of 6, drain, and you're on ball 2, and you got to start over. And that alone was the eye opener of like, that's got to go. It's got to go.
Even you describing that machine makes me hate it.
Do I miss Avatar?
No.
The answer is no. If somebody in the chat thinks I'm an idiot for not liking Avatar,
It's fine.
let me know. The audio is good. I saw somebody said that the audio is good. I hated how you'd plunge. It basically fed right down the middle. There's an aftermarket thing you add. It's a little spring to try to kick it.
Silly.
It's ridiculous. So do I miss Avatar? No.
Nope.
Okay, Jared, we're just gonna ask the tough one. I've owned a Deadpool Pro and I've owned a Deadpool Premium.
Which was the last one you owned?
Premium.
Yeah.
So for those who don't know, the difference is the drop targets on the sides, and then the Premium has the up down ramp. So when you shoot the left orbit, it'll feed the katana, which feeds the right in lane. So just with that alone,
okay.
Do you remember, or do you have a preference between the Pro and Premium?
I don't remember the difference.
Okay, I do. Yes,
of course you do. Dude,
yes,
you literally spent 10 minutes talking about lights. Okay, this is what you do. All right.
Okay. Yep,
I can sit and tell you about the differences of cards. Okay, we got our things.
Yeah. Okay.
So put Deadpool Premium. That's the last one. That is probably in my top 6. We're gonna put it over there because it's probably gonna be somewhere in there.
Okay.
Now, why is Deadpool? Do I love Deadpool so much? Part A, I love Deadpool. I love comic books, and I love Deadpool. I liked Deadpool before Deadpool became this weird thing that people do at Comic Cons now and all that stuff, and they're being creeps. I hate that. Deadpool's awesome. It's a great character. Okay. So,
all right. Okay.
Chimichangas, great. I mean, just good stuff. So Deadpool, I'm guessing the premium's probably better because it's premium.
Yep.
Yep. It's got more thingy-mabobs in it, probably.
It has the up-down ramp. It's a whole better
that
shot.
ramp was cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it had a chimichanga truck. Was that on both of them?
Yeah. But it was a flat plastic on the Pro, and it was a sculpt on the Premium.
Yeah, it's instantly better because it's a sculpt.
Yeah.
So yeah. Okay.
Ready for a Jared rant?
Oh, there's rants tonight coming.
Yeah. So you would put Deadpool in your top 6.
Mm-hmm.
I have had people ask me, do I miss Deadpool?
Yes, he does.
I do. I do miss Deadpool. It does fit in this category of Joel misses it.
He misses it so much.
Do I miss it enough that I wouldn't want to own it again? No. And the reason being, and maybe things will change. If I decide to stop streaming, then maybe I would consider getting Deadpool again. But Deadpool was one game that when you play it for 2 hours straight, it is linear in a way, and you do have to start over, and you're battling the same 3 guys.
I have a
over and over
perfect
again.
solution. You just take Cactus Canyon Remake, you just send that over to Mom and Dad's, then you get a Deadpool Premium.
But
you're perfect.
I've had it. That's the problem. I've had it, and I know how much I played it when I had it. But I do know Jared misses it. So it
had the best call outs.
It should probably be all over Jared's
call. It had the Shink shot on it.
Schnick
Whatever.
shot. So if people are interested in getting Deadpool
3 is coming out.
Deadpool is a fantastic game.
Great game.
Do miss having the game. It is one of those games where you can hit start and instantly have fun. It really is a complete package. It just, in my very small lineup of games, it didn't have the depth that I wanted. That's what Pinball's saying. It really needs the cut monsters. It was clear they wanted to do more with that game, and they just didn't have time to put it in.
Yeah.
And if for some reason they went back to it and added that, I'd be all over it.
Yeah, they could add 2 more modes probably.
Because once you get through the 3 guys, you fight Sauron, or you fight the green pterodactyl dude, and then you fight him again. And that's where, if there would be different guys afterwards, that would make a world of difference.
I wonder if they went back at it, if they just do 5 5 bad guys in the initial, and then maybe add 1 more super bad guy at the end. Because that's where you need the variety too, right? Because you have Mystique, Saberwolf, and Sabretooth, and oh my goodness,
Juggernaut. Yep.
It probably could have used 2 more.
Well, that's what. Yeah, there were talks of there being more, and there was leaked art of there being more. Where did I have my outlane puts? I think I had them at default, but I put the rubbers on. Originally, they shipped without rubbers.
No, that game is brutal. The good thing about it too is if you get a Deadpool, you will get better at pinball. Period.
Oh, it's great. Deadpool's
Because
an
it
awesome game.
will teach you how to play pinball.
It's an awesome game and an awesome shooter. Okay, 8-Ball Deluxe. Do you remember?
I do remember 8-Ball Deluxe, and I have played 8-Ball Deluxe since then.
Okay.
8-Ball Deluxe is a very cool old, what I would consider an old style game.
Yep.
I still don't fully understand the rules. I know you can probably repeat them from memory.
Yep.
I think before you go into Joel thing, I think you hit the balls down.
Yep. You hit the 7 balls.
Okay, you hit them down, and then you do
drops,
something.
Yep. And then you hit the 8
and then you
ball.
do it again, right?
Yeah, it's very simple for what it is.
But it's fun.
It's very fun.
And it has a really cool setup. And isn't that the Bad Girls is Deadpool? Is that one too?
Bad Girls is like that. Yes,
It's like
it's
that,
a very similar. I think it's like mirrored.
But to me, 8-Ball Deluxe is one of those, like, if I see it on location somewhere, I want to play it because it's a cool game. And then the pros blow it up like crazy.
Yeah, for a classic older game, it really is a ton of fun. When I got it, it was dead, and I redid basically everything in the game electrically because it was dead. Mm-hmm. And it was cool resurrecting that game. The art on the game's fun. It's just one of those, if I had the room to have an older style game like that, I would get it back. I do miss that game. So I will say I miss it, but do I miss it enough that I'd want it in my collection? No. But another thing that I do miss about it was this was a game my dad would step up and play because it's easily, immediately understood. If you know pool, you know, oh, I'm probably trying to hit my 7 balls and then try to hit the 8 ball. So, fantastic game. Do you miss it, Jared? Does it deserve to be put in your miss category? Got it. Okay.
Great on location.
F-14 Tomcat.
Don't remember it. Have no idea what we're talking about.
F-14 Tomcat is a brutal game. I only had it for a few weeks, but I had a blast with it. My wife, this was the time where my kids were small enough that I would put them in a carrier on the front, and they'd sit there, or they'd like hang there, basically, and watch me play pinball, and they freaking loved it. But F-14 Tomcat has sirens. There's 3 beacons on top. And the first time that went off, that's when multi-ball's ready. My wife's like, you cannot do this with the kids. Like, she's like, you cannot play this game with the kids. It's too many lights. It's too blinding. F-14 Tomcat is an underrated game. It's ridiculous. There's no other layout like it. With the right size collection, it definitely makes sense. But I don't know. Do I miss it? I don't, but I will gladly play it every single time I see it.
I don't know if I've ever seen one in the wild.
Never seen one. Well, okay. If we're in a situation where you will, I'll point it out.
I'll play it.
All right, I think I know Jared's answer.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Woo! Groot shot.
So here's the deal. I had Avatar. From Avatar, I actually traded Avatar for the Simpsons Pinball Party. So I had, maybe we'll go to that first. So I had Simpsons Pinball Party because from Simpsons Pinball Party, I sold that in the very same day. I took that money and I went and got a Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
So Simpsons Pinball Party, we're going to talk about that. Simpsons Pinball Party, I had it over a year. Do you remember it?
Yes.
What do you remember about the game?
Couch shot.
The couch shot.
Okay, so Simpsons gets interesting, right? Because we have Joel getting into this hobby, right? First, he was smart. He was into arcade machines and was awesome. He was making, metal slugs and had a Neo Geo. It was great. Then he starts getting these dumb pinball machines, right? And so I would say that Simpsons Pinball Party, when it was around and I was playing it, I hadn't touched a pinball machine. And I remember probably the last time I played a pinball machine was in college.
Yeah.
In like 2010.
Yeah, and I went from Avatar, the game you only remember being blue, to
because I think
Simpsons, which was a great game.
No, you sent me a picture of Avatar. That's why I have no memory of it. Simpsons Pinball Party, you had it for a while.
I had it over a year, yeah.
Yeah. So Simpsons Pinball, I think it was a good like starter pin.
Okay.
But it's hard. Like now that I go back whenever I like go play one, like if I see one on location, which actually funny story. There was one at the Wings, Etc. in small town Huntington, and it was so bad. It was so broke.
Yeah.
Like half the flippers didn't work, and the kids would always want to play it. But it's a good game. It's a hard game. It's a confusing game. It doesn't really tell you what, how to progress through modes and things like that. I feel like you're kind of thrown against the wall a lot of the times on that game.
So, well, maybe that actually brings it back to our original conversation of DMDs versus LCD. Simpsons Pinball Party is one of the first games that had ridiculous depth to a DMD era game.
Yeah.
Lord of the Rings being another one. It's key for code. There's a lot to do in the game, and obviously to communicate what to do, all they have is the DMD screen, and they have the inserts on the game. And so that's interesting that you find it to be confusing, because there was a lot that I had to learn. There was a lot that I had to learn to understand that game. I watched a lot of Buffalo Pinball, the tutorials, Mixer Tuna. I had to learn a ton about that game. And I really liked it, but I could see what you're saying. It's maybe that's a game that would actually benefit from an LCD screen where it could have more, it could better communicate what to do.
Well, and here's the other thing too. This is early into me getting
it was very early into
pinball.
Yeah,
I haven't seen one on location in a while. I feel like if I saw one, I'd play one.
Yeah,
100%. I'd probably be information in pounds.
I measure information. I don't even know what to say with that, Victor. But
he talks a lot, guys. I'm
I mean,
sorry.
Chad, am I dumb? Am I? Do you feel, Chad? Is Simpsons a complicated game, like hard to understand, or is it? What, are we crazy here? I
still think it is.
Tons. Oh, the fact I'm saying tons. Got it.
I feel like Simpsons Pinball Party, it's one of those really good older games.
It's very good.
And at the time was, when it came out, what, 20 years ago?
More than that.
Okay, so when it came out, it was pushing the boundaries, right? But it's really hard because when you look at this list and you see the borrowed and you see the games we're going to talk about,
it's all new stuff. Yeah.
And we are in a pinball renaissance, probably.
Oh, it's a great time to be in pinball. We got the best designers,
right?
Yeah.
So like how it's, nostalgia. It's like, oh, okay, it's not on the list. It's like when people talk about Addams Family. I've played Addams Family. I've played it a bunch.
Yeah.
I don't understand why people are into that machine. But that's also been said, I'm spoiled.
Text only Ralph Wiggum would think it's a complicated
game. I could be wrong. You guys have to, if you see me on stream, how much I'm paying attention when he talks about rules, all right? Let's move on.
So, okay, what I will say about Simpsons, I love that you said couch shot, because honestly, that is a shot that's awesome.
It's a great shot.
And it was something that any of our friends and family that would come over, I would basically say, hit the garage, the ball's going to appear up there, and then try to get the ball on the couch. And it was just such a simple task to give anybody. And the whole time you got Homer talking to you with his head. Like, it really is. Simpsons is a fantastic game, in my opinion, for I think every level of player, just because it's relatable. It's a great game, but do I miss it a little bit? Am I tempted at all to own it again? No. And the only reason being is watching the tutorial to really get through Alien Invasion and get further in the game. There's kind of a way to play it, of like, try to do the 7 modes in this particular order. And that's the thing. I found myself doing it in the same order every time, and that bothered me.
Yeah.
Stacking all the modes with a multi-ball, restarting. Yeah, exactly. Like keeping the timer running. I loved the game. Do I miss it? No, it's not a game that I'm going to borrow, that I'm tempted to buy again. So I sold Simpsons.
Yep.
And I went to Guardians.
Ooh, Guardians.
Okay, Jared, what do you remember about Guardians?
Okay. First of all, I'm obsessed with Guardians. Like, Guardians of the Galaxy, one of my favorite. And I did not know about Guardians before the movies came out. The movies came out, changed my life. I like some of the best movies ever.
We were into X-Men. We were into like Batman. We Guardians was not a comic book that we got into.
And then Guardians, and then those movies came along, and they're amazing and whatever. I love them. It's the best trilogy of the Marvel universe so far. Anyway. So I love Guardians. I love the characters. I love everything about that.
Okay.
So that machine love over here. The more I've played Guardians, it's a really cool machine.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on. Is it like an owner, in my opinion? I don't know. I feel like I get enough Guardians every time I play it on site somewhere.
Okay.
Because there's a lot going on. And so it's not on the list, right? But it's kind of like Star Wars. Like, yeah, because you're like selecting a character, your character determines this, and there's like really important decisions you have to make really early on, like when you walk
Well, you
up
pick
to
your
the
mode.
machine.
You pick your mode
Yeah,
right at
and-
the beginning. Yep.
And there's just some about that where it's like, okay, this is too much. I'm getting a little too.
Sure.
And then you end up, and then you hear the pros and stuff. They're like, well, you blow it up because you do this first,
yeah.
and then you do this
Yeah.
first, and then and it's just like, I don't know. But that all being said, I love the machine, the look of it. I mean, it's a beautiful machine. The Groot shot is awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It's kind of one of those like I love it.
You
every
don't
time
miss
I
it.
play
You're
it,
not.
but
You're
I
not.
don't miss
I
it.
know how much you love Guardians, but you're not clamoring for me to get it back. And
I would probably just buy the back class honestly one of these days and just
or the
hang
banner.
it up. Or the banner.
Do I miss Guardians? No. What I do miss about Guardians is the Groot head, because anybody can walk up to that machine and shoot it and lock 3 balls and experience the Groot multi-ball. It's such a great mech, and it's right up the middle of the playfield that anybody can experience that multi-ball, and to be able to give anybody of any level that satisfaction of experiencing multi-ball, and it's such a cool moment of him spitting out the balls, blah, 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 like spitting it out. It's awesome. Like I miss that. I miss having a game, because I went from Simpsons where anybody could step up to it and get right up to the top or try to mess around with the couch, to go to Groot where anybody could try to get Groot multi-ball. So I miss that aspect of it. But is it a game that I'm dying to get back? It's not. Metallica.
Ooh, Metallica.
What do you remember about Metallica? I only had it in the house. I think I only had it 2 to 3 weeks.
Metallica has the dude in the center, right? That
Sparky.
Sparky. That's cool.
Yeah.
Metallica's brutal.
Yep.
It's very fast. The music's obviously awesome. It's Metallica. I mean, how can you go wrong with Metallica? What's funny? Okay, so Metallica's a machine. And this will be a lot of it, all right? So sometimes, because of this silly activity that Joel has got me involved with, I now go find, if I'm traveling, try to find places with pinball machines.
I got them hooked, everybody.
There usually will be a Metallica there. I don't know the last time I've played a Metallica.
It has sold incredibly well. There's a lot of Metallicas out there. But what do you remember? Do you remember anything about the game? What you do, you just remember, you said you remember Sparky and you remember it being hard. Is that what I'm saying?
To me, it probably has modes in it, but it doesn't feel like a game that has modes in it. It feels like a game that you're hitting Sparky and then I remember you're trying to cash out 4 different shots or something like that.
So you have to collect, yes.
Yeah.
So there are no modes, not really, well there are, but they're kind of hidden. You got to get enough electric shots, you have to get enough cross shots, you have to get enough snake shots, and you have to get enough coffin shots. And once you get enough of those things, then you hit the scoop on the right. It's in the exact same spot on Guardians.
Yeah.
And that is when you can pick a mode. That's the crank it up. That's the crank it up thing. And you can play these really cool modes, and then you can cash out of that mode. It's very risk reward. And when you cash out, then you have to do it again. And then you can keep working. So not modes, traditional modes like what you're thinking. Do I miss Metallica? Yes. There's a reason I miss Metallica, is that game has so much risk reward. There's so much you can do in that game of do I want to focus on just hitting my shots, or do I want to focus on if you hit a ramp enough, it'll fill out this column, and then every single time you hit that ramp, instead of you getting one shot, you're getting multiple shots.
Yeah.
So you can play this game where you're purposely allowing yourself to collect more shots and get further in the game, but it's risky because if you drain, it's gone. And that game, that's a game where I played the heck out of it when I had it, because you could just jump into a game and it would kick you in the nuts, and you'd come begging, you'd be coming right back for more, because I really own that. Your own list is short on Pro and Premium. I had the Pro. If I was to do it again, I would go Premium just for more light show. There are rumors that Stern is rerunning or remaking Metallica. If they did that, that's where I'm back to go DMD, XL DMD colored, put the expression lighting in it, same play field, same rules, and I'd be all in on that. This game was something different for me. It just, even though it doesn't have modes and everything, I do miss Metallica. Do you miss Metallica at all?
Nope.
Okay. All right. NBA Fastbreak.
Ooh.
Oh, why did I only have it a few weeks? I only had it a few weeks because I traded it for Deadpool. Deadpool was a game that I really wanted, but I got Metallica, and then somebody reached out and was like, I see you have Metallica. Any chance you'd want to trade it for Deadpool? And I'm like, ooh. So as Metallica's just kicking me in the nuts, I'm thinking, would I like Deadpool better? And I finally was like, I gotta make the trade.
Yeah.
So I do miss it. NBA Fastbreak. Do you remember this game at all?
Yes.
Okay. What do you
This
remember
is
in it?
Instant play when I see it. The shot, a tough man to play. Okay, the problem is because where the misses, it's all in the middle section. So we gotta get through this.
Okay.
This is one I miss. Put it in there.
Really?
NBA Fast Break. Miss it.
Okay.
Why do I miss NBA Fast Break? It is a weird game. The scoring's weird, right? You're playing a basketball game, so it's not like this high scoring thing.
Yeah.
But it's got so many fun, cool shots on it.
Yeah.
And yeah, in theory, you're kind of doing the same thing, but it's so much fun and so silly. And it's just they were shooting the moon on that thing of like, how do we make a pinball machine out of basketball?
It's,
and then
it's absurd.
And then you got the backboard, and you're shooting the shot up top, and it's also what, late 80s, early 90s basketball players. So that instantly, I mean,
with trivia.
Yeah, I'm wearing a Pacers hat. I mean, come on, we're talking about so. That's what I miss, and that's a machine. That's to me, it's like, yeah, anybody can walk up and play that and have a good time. Like, it's just fun. It's a fun pinball machine. So yeah, I would Fast Break's definitely on my misses. That's one of the very few pinball machines I think I would even consider owning, just because it's so silly.
So
and fun.
I got NBA Fast Break because I was trying to convince my parents to get a pinball machine, and my dad loves basketball.
Loves him some basketball.
But our dad is also cheap.
Very cheap.
So I got an NBA Fast Break for relatively inexpensive. I fixed it up. I did everything to it, LED, re-rubbered, put a color DMD in it, all this stuff, and trying to kind of sell him on essentially buying it. Like, Dad, you should buy this. And the answer was no. He enjoyed the game, but honestly, it was trying to get my parents into pinball, and that game blew me away. I really had a ton of fun with that game. Like you were saying, incredibly unique shots. It's one of the only pinball machines I've beaten. I've actually collected a ring. I've gotten to the championship or whatever. I do miss it. It's one of those games to get to the championship ring. I think there's 5 tasks you have to do, and I just love games like that because you can focus on any particular one. And if there are ball-ins, then focus on something different. You really can play it however you want. And one of the tasks was these different shots, and they were all combos. So it's like, I have to hit this and this. Boom, I got that. I have to hit that and that. Boom, I got that. And I genuinely miss that game. It's underrated. I think with the right size collection, I would own it.
Oh yeah.
But does it make my top 4? It doesn't. But I do miss the game. Shout out to Hottie, Frisco Pinball. He loves NBA Fast Break.
It's great.
Pinbot. I had Pinbot all of about 2 weeks. Do you remember it at all?
No, move on.
I sold it. I sold it as quickly as possible.
Joel, we got too much to talk about. Let's talk about Pinbot.
I sold it as quickly as possible. I just have no. A lot of people have like they remember playing it or it blew them away years ago and yada 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 yada. I played it and I was like, I'm not. This doesn't fit in my collection. I'm going to sell it to somebody who cares. So. Nope,
it's
gone.
Easy too. Secret Service. Don't remember. Don't care.
The reason we don't remember Secret Service is it wasn't working. I bought it and it was dead. This was the first game I bought, and I started to work on it and fix it up, and I realized pinball is not fun if you can't play the game.
That's true.
So I took the money that I had invested in this broken game, I sold it, and then I got Avatar. That's how that works.
Yeah.
So it's probably a good game, but honestly, never played it. Shadow.
Move on.
Do you remember anything about Shadow?
It was the one with the like weird upper play field, the car or something.
Kind of the breakout plunger.
There's too much. It's just there's
the ramps with the diverters.
There's too many ramps. There's too much going on.
Avatar was worse than the broken game. Dude, okay, Jared does not miss Shadow. I do. No. I really like the Furba.
It's a bad movie.
The movie sucked, but
it's a horrible movie.
The diverters on the ramps were awesome, and I so wish Brian Eddy would bring that back into another game. The pistol grip for to shoot to plunge the ball was awesome. The the magnet to lock the ball in the middle. I think if I had it again now that you're actually into pinball a little bit, you would like Shadow. So do I miss Shadow? I do. Does Jared?
Nope.
Apparently
Move
not
on.
at all.
Don't care.
Wow. That was a game that friends and family, apparently not Jared, but other friends and family did like just because they liked getting to that upper play field. Dad, I'm cheap. How is Dad awake? What's sad is either A, the stream chat is very delayed, or B, it took Dad that long to log in
We love
to
you.
then chat.
We love you, Dad. It's
So
fine.
that's so great. Thanks, Dad. Thanks
Joel
for being
said
awake.
it. I just agreed.
Thanks for being awake. Okay. Well, all right. We only have 2 left on the owned list. Hobbit.
Ugh.
Self-awareness has arrived, apparently. What? All right, Jared. Tech savvy. Yeah, right, Dad. Yeah, right. Okay. All right, Hobbit, Jared. What do you remember about Hobbit? What do you remember?
The entire play field, all the ramps are really far back.
Yes.
It's a wide body, right?
Yes.
It's too big. There's like 19,000 modes in it.
There's 32 modes in it?
Okay, so
Yes.
you guys have to remember, when I'm playing a pinball machine and my brother is around me, he is in my ear the entire time. I'm like, Jared, you gotta.
Wait, Dad's awake. Dad's awake.
We're not calling Dad.
All right, we're
right
calling
now.
Dad. We got to
No,
ask him.
don't
We
call
got to
Dad
ask him.
right now.
It's a very important question. We got to ask him.
Hello.
Dad, as you know, you're watching the stream. We have a very important question to ask
Very
you, okay?
important question.
Do you think we're cool?
No, the question was, who's your favorite kid? And the answer is Jenna.
Oh yeah, well
Yeah,
yeah. But just don't beat around. Just you can pull the mom thing of you're cool in your own way. What was her thing? It was cool and unique and fun. Unique and fun.
Make it fun.
I don't know. Do you? I mean, you can be blunt, Dad. It's fine. Do you think?
It's all relative, man.
Okay. It's all relative. That's what I.
Okay.
All right. Well, thanks for being awake. Thanks for watching the stream, Dad. Appreciate it.
I just woke up, so
All right. Well, yeah. Enjoy going back to bed then.
we'll do.
All right. Love you.
guys.
Yeah.
Oh,
Bye.
yeah.
It's all relative. Okay. You were talking about Hobbit. Just woke up. He was on the couch.
There's stupid pop-ups in it. That
Stupid. Okay. Sorry.
It takes a million years to get anywhere in that game. You're on a journey. The movies are
Better
bad.
scoot up a little bit so you're closer to the mic.
Yeah, sorry. I'm just trying to. I'm trying not to squeak this chair.
Well, the chair sucks. Just
Okay.
scoot. Hey, we'll get this. We'll figure it out. Keep talking about how much you love Hobbit.
I don't love Hobbit at all. What are you doing?
I'm trying to push
it's
it
really, but I'm
forward.
really tall, dude.
There you go.
All
There
right.
we go. Yeah.
Sorry.
Professionals.
Yeah, Hobbit. No.
I'm going on an adventure.
And now, do I love to see your love for the machine? Sure, it's great. I they have it at that one spot downtown, and you love playing it. Could care less.
Man. Okay, so this is what I remember about Hobbit. I remember Jared didn't like Hobbit, and the reason being is he never understood what was going on. There's a lot. There's a ton going on at Hobbit, and there's a whole lot going on at one time. And that was still relatively early on in pinball. Out of the frying pan and into the fire. There's so many good quotes. The audio is so good. I sold Guardians. And I got TNA. I had TNA for like 2 weeks because somebody reached out to me saying they wanted it. I sold TNA for Hobbit, and I had Hobbit like a year. And I really liked it. And the reason being was the sound was so good. I really enjoyed 5 different tasks that you have to do to get to the mini wizard modes. The mini wizard modes were awesome. The layout sucks. If the layout was better, everybody would love Hobbit. But I really liked the creatures popping up in the middle because they were really creative on how they use those certain modes. They would pop up to block shots. I think there's 11 drop targets that they can pop up and down at any time. I don't know. I miss Hobbit. I think now that I stream, I would love to stream Hobbit because it's a journey. I got to the point where one game on Hobbit would be 30 plus minutes, and
Too long.
I just loved it. I loved it. But the reason I sold Hobbit was I got to the point where I stopped playing it because I didn't have enough time to play it. I'd be like, I don't have 30 minutes to play a game of Hobbit, so I stopped. So I realized, like, with my attention span and the amount of free time I have now that I have small kids, I need a fast game. So I actually traded Hobbit back and got TNA back. So I went from having TNA to going to Hobbit back to Kirk Hobbs. You can have mine. He's in Australia. So yeah, that would be great.
Thanks, Kirk.
Thank you. But I do miss Hobbit. I miss Hobbit, but I do know one of the reasons I haven't just jumped on getting it back was it wasn't received very well by friends and family because of there's just so much going on, and there was nothing easy to explain to anybody to do. Even to get to the main multi-ball, it's like, well, you got to roll over the rollovers that say lock and then hit the right ramp. It just multi-ball was kind of inaccessible for pretty much anybody but a skilled player. But I do miss it. World Cup Soccer.
Don't remember it.
I miss World Cup Soccer. I do. It's a J-pop game. I loved the layout of it. It was just a fun, super accessible game. I've actually thought about getting it back. It was very accessible to anybody that played it. I really love the audio. I like the art package on it. Yeah, Hobbit has one of the best interactive theme integrations in pinball. Top tier. Steven, you know. Yes, slow and floaty. I agree. Yes. World Cup Soccer is I do miss it, but that's funny that you don't remember it. We will have to play it. It has one of the most frustrating multi-ball start shots in all of pinball. It's just a fun layout. But, man, that's crazy. He doesn't remember it at all.
Nope.
Doesn't remember it at all. Okay.
All right,
let's knock out the ones I currently own. I mean, I want honesty. TNA. TNA. Do you like TNA?
Yes.
What do you like about it?
Soundtrack in it is amazing. I love the step up. Sorry. I love the step up and play to it.
Yep.
You're just stepping on playing pinball.
Yep.
And it's gonna kick your butt, and it's hard, and it's blasting music in your face, and it's everything. It's a perfect pinball machine. And also, like, I think there's a lot to the story of it, right? Like,
yep.
One guy had a dream put together.
Scott's an easy man.
It's cool. And so, yeah.
Do you think it's worthy of your top 6? Or if I ever sold it, would you miss it?
Oh, I'd miss it 100%. Put it in the top 6 currently.
Okay.
These could change.
Yeah. That's fair. Godzilla Premium. I have a Godzilla Pro on here. I borrowed it, and I missed it. That's why I got the Godzilla Premium. I don't know if you ever played the Pro or remember the Pro.
Nope.
But same thing. Do you feel that Godzilla Premium is in your top 6? Dad, boring layout. TNA, jeez. Do you feel that Godzilla Premium is worthy of your top 6?
Yes, just put it there.
Okay.
It's a great game.
Got it.
It's going to lead us to an interesting discussion later on.
I know, yes. One other game that you may or may not, I don't think you ever played it. Taxi.
What are you talking about?
I had Taxi during COVID.
Okay.
Because I borrowed it. It's my buddy Wes's game. I borrowed it like 2 weeks before lockdown, and I spent 6 months basically completely redoing the game for him. And then I had to wait to give it back to him. So during that time, I streamed the heck out of him. Do I miss Taxi? Absolutely, I miss Taxi. Taxi is a fantastic game. If I ever wanted to get a game of that alphanumeric era, Taxi's right at the top of my list. And I remember asking Dad, he may still be here. I remember saying, Dad, of all the games that I've had in my collection, which one do you think you've had the most fun on? Or which one would you want in your house? And his answer was Taxi. And it's just such a good, it's so easy to know what to do. It's a fun and accessible layout. Taxi. Taxi is a game that I do miss. Okay.
So, and for the people talking about TNA, I 100% understand TNA is only made for certain people.
He's not to the bar. I know. TNA is, yeah. Turtles Pro.
I would miss it if you sold it.
But it's not in your top 6. Not in your top 6, but if I sold it, I would miss it.
Yes.
I would say that 100%. Turtles Pro It's not in my house, so I don't miss having the ability to play it every day. But I love that I can still play it at mom and dad's. And if it was ever like out of my life, essentially, and I could only play it on location, I would 100% miss it.
It's a great game. I love playing it. It has helped me get a lot better at pinball.
Yes.
It is not in my top 6.
I will be buried in my Turtles premium one day. Tex, well done, man. Well done. All right, and Cactus Canyon. Cactus Canyon. I had an LE. Do I miss the LE? I don't. I think the SE Plus is just as good, if not. I really like the stainless look instead of the dark powder coat. So do I miss that? No, I don't. What are your thoughts on Cactus Canyon? Do you think it's a top 6? And if it's not, would you miss it if it was gone?
I would miss it.
Okay.
It's not a top 6. But it's for what it is, it's really good. It's a great game. And for you and people are probably well aware because you talk about it, the playability people. Yes, it's great. My kids love playing it. Your kids love playing it. It's bright, it's loud, it's flashy, right?
Yeah.
It's a fun game. I love playing it. Sometimes I'm just like, let's go. Let's just play. Let's play because so
Pinmunk. I said it's at mom and dad's and Pinmunk's El Cheapo's place. Yes. Okay. Yes, I am a fan of Cactus Canyon. There's a reason it's there. Marcus, his son, apparently he's 9. Yeah. Apparently his 2 favorite pinball machines he's ever played are Cactus Canyon.
Heck yeah.
And Godfather.
Kid loves Godfather.
Let's just go straight to Godfather. Godfather LE. Why does Marcus like Godfather? Because apparently he loves hitting people in the face, was what he said.
Yep.
He really loved that.
He's a 9-year-old boy.
He loved that mech.
He's a 9-year-old boy.
Which makes me think, I think he would love Metallica.
Yes.
With Sparky.
Oh, 100%.
Boom, boom, boom.
He'd love Metallica.
And I don't know if he ever played Guardians.
No.
But
like
he
Guardians.
probably would love Guardians.
No, Guardians would be great for him. Godfather LE.
Do you miss it?
No.
What do you remember about the game?
It is too complicated. Period. Exclamation point. Gosh. When you... No, it's one... Okay, it's like one of those... It's one of these... When I hear you in my head being like, well, you pick this crime family because then it helps out the bonuses of... Like, I don't care. I'm over it.
Yeah.
Godfather, it was fun to play. It's a cool machine. I understand why people play it. If it was your only machine and you love Godfather, and Godfather is one of the greatest movies ever made.
How was Godfather as a kid's game? Great question.
No one knows.
Great
My
question.
kids are weird. It's fine.
Do I miss Godfather? I don't. I think it's a great layout. I think they did the Godfather movies incredibly well.
It's
like
great.
They brought the theme integration is perfect, but it's just the way that I like games. I just don't like stacking stuff. I like modes that are very story-based modes and just
if I got to get a
make you
spreadsheet out,
explore it. It's very complicated. We had Eric Minier on the stream. He was awesome. He explained everything to us. But still coming out of it, it was just like, I have an understanding of what I need to do. I just don't have that full love that Eric does or some other people with this type of depth in rules to really truly appreciate this game. So
but I could 100% understand if someone was like, Godfather's my favorite game.
Yeah. I get it.
You're right. Great. Good. So
well, let's just stick with JJP games then. So Guns N' Roses. Guns N' Roses.
I don't like this game.
Okay. Don't like it. What do you remember about the game?
Why are you collecting band members to do anything cool?
Can't play the song without the band members.
Anything cool. You have to hit 6 shots?
7. You have to collect 7 band members.
I'm sorry. And I know like the light show and it was so instrumental. And like, okay, cool. It is a beautiful game. It's Guns N' Roses. That's awesome. I don't want to hit 7 shots to do because there's nothing in that game until you hit 7 shots.
Yes.
So I'm sorry. I don't care.
Okay. That's fair. Do I miss Guns N' Roses? The answer is kind of. Do I miss collecting the band members? The Guns N' Roses is 2 stages. You got to collect the band members. You can use the 4 multi-balls in that stage to boost your songs. And there's patches. So every time I was playing, I was trying to collect certain patches. I was trying to boost my song value. I was trying to collect everything. You spend all this time, especially it's a lot of backhand and left hand. You do all this time building and building and building to get you into a song. Locking balls, because every ball you lock, you're bringing in the song. You get into the song. Songs are awesome. The songs are
cool.
so great. The light show, the song.
Great.
The songs are so great.
Integration's awesome.
But if you drain out of that song, it's all over. And you're back to phase 1. And phase 1 is just kind of a chore. And that's, I had some of my highest highs of pinball playing GNR, because when you build everything and you can cash out of songs for a gazillion points, what an amazing feeling. But man, is it so sad when you've spent 20 minutes building and then you get into a song and drain out of it in 2 minutes. So do I miss it? Kind of. Am I tempted to own it? No. Toy Story 4.
Okay, this one. Here's the thing. The repeating song is brutal. I think they fixed that. Yeah, gosh, darn it.
Clarinet all day. Is Ray Day here? Ray Day he's the first to point out the clarinet.
It's so but here's the thing. Outside of the song.
Garbage. Hot garbage. Okay.
Outside of the song,
yeah.
This is on my misses list. I think it's super fun. It's fun to shoot. The theme is awesome. There's lots of weird little modes that you kind of accidentally get in. Yeah. So it's one of those games where it's like you walk up, you have no idea what's going on.
Randy Newman, no, it's not.
There is a snake in your boots.
Yeah. Shoot everything.
Yeah, like I like shooting everything. Yeah. I want to shoot everything. I could see how you can beat it.
Oh, peep loops, Travis. Ugh.
I can see how it doesn't have much depth to it. But if I see one on location, I'm going to play it. I'm going to play at least 5-6 games on it. Because it's a great, it's fun.
Do you miss it?
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Do I miss it? Yes. The reason I miss it, I was really addicted to playing the game when I had it, because it was, to get to that middle wizard mode, it was right there. It was doable. I knew I could do it if I just kept playing. I love the theme. I know it's Toy Story 4, but it's Toy Story characters. I love, once again, I'm a sucker for task-based wizard mode. So there's 7 tasks you have to beat. Travis pointed out it freaking Bo Peep loops. That was the one that I just couldn't.
So it's hard. There's some hard stuff in it.
It's so, the one I had, I couldn't loop 3 in a row. So you had to basically get it through a mystery to light super loops and then hit your super loops. In my opinion, I think Toy Story 4, if they tweak the code just a little bit and improve the sound package of that game, they could sell a lot more.
Yeah.
They could sell so many more to pinball people, because I think the sound package needs work, and just a few little code tweaks. And I'd be all like, the FU loops, exactly. I would consider, and they are cheap now. That's the problem. I have genuinely considered selling my Turtles Pro and taking that money and putting it towards a Toy Story 4, because what game would actually be better at Mom and Dad's house? Toy Story 4.
Yeah,
Turtles.
but
Toy Story 4 would. I haven't done it.
Buy a TMT.
I haven't done it.
Day.
I haven't done it.
There's no way you sell.
But
the
if
TMT.
right now, if I had to look at this list and put a game right next to Turtles at Mom and Dad's house, El Cheapo's house apparently, it would either be Toy Story 4 or it would be NBA Fastbreak. Those would be the 2 that I would put.
It's easy. Just put Fastbreak in. Everyone wins.
Yeah, but man, Toy Story 4. Okay, so that's my thoughts on Toy Story 4. Do I miss it? Yes. Real quick one here. Jared, do you miss Golden Tee?
No.
Golden Tee, we borrowed a Golden Tee from Zach. Do I get it? Do I get why some people get into that? It's a very fun, and I get it, but it's
awesome.
Not for us.
No.
It wasn't for us.
I go play real golf.
Yeah, okay. All right, let's just go through here then. Stranger Things Pro. Do you remember?
Yes.
What do you remember about the game?
So I remember you only had a Pro.
I just had the Pro.
Okay, and then
the Pro
played
was no UV light kit.
Yeah, but then I played the Premium.
The Premium has the projector in it.
So if you were to buy one, buy the Premium.
Yes.
That is a game where initially wasn't a fan of, but every time I see it out there and the more I play it, the more that game is cool. The shots are cool. The Premium, It's almost unfortunate how much better the premium. I know some of these machines, it's kind of like hit or miss between the two. The premium is so good. That's the only one you should buy.
Yeah.
I miss it.
Okay.
It's kind of on the verge though. So, but there's some mental math going on, but I do miss that. It's a fun. It shoots awesome. The theme is sweet. I don't know. It's a good one.
Still think it's lame they cut the video mode. Oh yeah. Okay. Do I miss Stranger Things? Absolutely. Stranger Things. Huge shout out to Zach and Nicole at Flipping Out. Stranger Things is what started it all. I actually ordered a Turtles Pro from Zach. He told me, hey, it'll be 3 weeks or whatever. And like a week before, he knew I streamed. I had already reached out to him about that and TPN and whatnot. And it was like a week before I was supposed to get the game. He's like, hey, they're delayed on the shipment. It's going to be another month. I'm really sorry. And I was like, well, I stream pinball, and I was really looking forward to being able to stream the game. You don't happen to have anything else I can stream until I get the game, do you? And he's like, well, actually. And he had given us a Stranger Things Pro for a tournament down in Kentucky, and he let the winner of the tournament take the game home
Oh, that's pretty cool.
to practice on. And I drove to the guy's house and picked it up, and that's what started it all. Ever since I started streaming for Zach with that Stranger Things Pro, he's just in and out. It's been there ever since. So, do I miss Stranger Things Pro? 100%. I had a blast with the Pro with no UV kit. The immersion was really, really good. The sound package, even though the guys' call-outs were, Alan ball save is lit. It was boring.
Yeah, Hopper was a little bored the entire time, but who cares? Yeah. The game is beautiful.
But if I have genuinely been tempted to try to jump on getting a new Stranger Things Premium. I'm flirting with it being my fourth, like up here. I'm really considering it. I do miss that game. But a buddy of mine locally has one. He just got the premium, so I'm looking, and he's got it all modded out. So I'm looking to going over to his house and just putting a few more games on it. Really try to remember if I do love the game. But honestly, it's a great game. Anybody that's jumped on them now, buying them new, you made a smart choice. It is an awesome game.
Yeah, it's good.
Avengers Pro.
Yep.
Do you remember it?
Yes. I feel like I put more games though in the wild on that thing than I did when it was at your house. I feel like there was only like one day where I was over and played a little bit. It's a cool game.
Do you miss it?
No.
Okay. Do I miss it? No. I like the way it shoots. It shoots incredibly well. It's an L1 game, but the overall sound package, art package leaves a lot to desire. We like Avengers. The code is awesome, but it's super complex. I loved streaming it because you can tackle it so many different ways. But to have somebody step up to it and be like, what do I want to do? There's not anything obvious besides Thor multi-ball.
Was that Elwin's first?
No, his first was Iron Maiden. This was his second.
Okay.
So it's a good game. It's a very good game, but I know why people rank it as right at the bottom for Elwin. Jared, do you miss that one time you were hit by a bread truck? What? John, what are you talking about?
When was I hit by a bread truck?
Anyway. Okay, so Avengers Pro, don't miss it. Led Zeppelin Pro.
No.
Why?
I don't remember anything about that game. All I remember is hating it.
Okay.
I couldn't even tell you. I know it's a pretty open layout, right? And the art package is sweet. Because it's Zeppelin.
Yeah.
And the music is awesome because it's Zeppelin.
Yeah.
But gosh darn it, there's nothing. Yeah. I just remember bricking balls all the time and going, what am I doing with my life?
Okay.
Oh, there's a TNA right next to it. I guess I'll do that.
Do I miss it?
Games without personality. Yes.
Yes. Do I miss it? I don't. But I learned to really have a lot of fun with that game. When I first got it, putting 1 or 2 games on, I was like, this is going to be a struggle to stream because I knew I was going to play for 2 hours. But once I started to figure out the Ray Day and Tim Ball's like code, they made so much out of a very boring playfield. Mm-hmm. And I will say the way that they have the shots change based on the song, when you get to the guitar solo and you can just rip center ramps, that's a really good feeling. and I had expression lights in that game, and the expression light kit in that game, I just am such a sucker for light show. So there are things I miss about it, but if I saw one on location, I don't know if I'd play it.
I wouldn't put 50 cents in that thing.
Sorry to everybody that made But,
yet again, this is our list. We're wrong. It's fine.
Mando Pro.
Mandalorian's a weird one for me.
Okay.
So I own Mandalorian merchandise.
Yeah.
I love the television series. It's Star Wars. I don't know if I like or hate that machine most of the time.
Okay.
I'm dead serious. Because there's such a weird, because you're shooting up the middle, right? You're just shooting up the middle and then you're doing stuff. And it's one of those, when I see people that know how to play Mando.
You ate it.
When I see people that know how to play Mando and blow it up, it's like, this is the coolest game ever made. It's got Grogu in it.
That doesn't move. Grogu doesn't move.
I'm the screen. I'm looking at the screen.
I know.
I'm looking at the banner, Michael. But I just feel like I never do anything in that game. And it's probably because I'm bad at pinball. But this is going to all those people out there that are bad at pinball, like myself. Okay. It's a beautiful, watching people blow it up though.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
Yeah.
I can't even get close to that. So I don't know. I don't even know if I miss it.
Do I miss Mando Pro? I don't. The premium is definitely better. I think the premium is better. The premium, the thing I struggle with on the Pro is to do the encounters. At least on the one I had, the middle ramp would drop the ball up to where you do those, but there's only one flipper, and you have to nudge the game to get the ball over to hit the flipper to hit your targets. So my wife just doesn't understand the concept of nudging a game. So she just couldn't do it. She just could not do part of the game. So I definitely think the premium is better. If I was to own a Mando, I would own a premium. I think the code is good. Dwight did a great job with the code, and it's task based once again.
Carl Weathers in it, so
he was in it. R.I.P.
Oh man,
so I liked the fact that it's do I want to focus on multi-balls or encounters, or there's a third one. It's modes or the encounters at the top. I like that at least when I was streaming it, I like that I could jump around between.
It's also the weapons thing, which is really cool.
I
still don't understand it.
Yeah, you could go in and cash out your Beskar. I think Dwight did a lot with that game. So I think it did Mando well.
Yeah.
But it's right on that fringe of, do I miss it? Not really, but will I play it? Gladly play it.
I'll put money in that thing.
Hot Wheels.
I don't remember Hot Wheels.
You don't?
No. I've been told it's a good game. I don't remember ever playing it.
I played the heck out of it. Do I miss it? I don't. I think it was incredibly well built. I actually enjoyed the game. One thing I didn't like was a lot of the score is based around the RPM targets, and just the fact that you have to keep hitting them to keep your score going. That was a hard game to explain to people that okay, what do I do? It just, there wasn't any mech or anything obvious to hey, experience this mech or experience that. If Medieval Madness is remake does eventually come out, are you going to pick it up? I would be very tempted. I love having this CGC game, but I would be tempted of do I add another CGC game? Do I replace Cactus game with Medieval Madness? I would be very tempted. If they did it, I'd put my name on a list, and then I'd have to make that tough call once it's in the house of am I only playing Medieval Madness or am I only playing Cactus? So I'd probably jump on it. I would probably get one. Do I miss Hot Wheels? I don't. But for the people that are into cars, or that's a theme that screams to them, I do think it's done. I think it's fun.
Great.
Yeah. Okay. Rush Pro.
Rush, did not like it when you first had it. It is a hard game.
Brutal.
It is confusing. But I've had a little bit of a Rush renaissance.
Okay.
When we went over to your buddy's, I played
Derek's
it a little
house,
bit on location.
Yeah.
When we went over to Derek's house, when I was playing it a little bit more, I missed that game. I wish you had it around. It's growing on me.
I put it in the column?
Put it in the column.
Okay.
If you were hey, we got a Rush that we're going to stream a couple times, I'd be excited because as you're kind of figuring it out,
Yeah.
And there's some stuff in there. And then the middle shot, the washing machine shot, is awesome.
The time machine.
It's a cool shot.
Yeah.
And you have Rush music, which is great.
Yeah.
I completely understand why Tom is obsessed with that game, because I
think he's obsessed with Rush.
Well, he's obsessed with, but it's like, it is the perfect game of like, do you like Rush? Yes. Do you like pinball? Yes.
Sure.
Here's the thing you can play for the next 10 years and always having a good time and finding, if you can, it can be clunky.
Yeah.
Oh no, Hot Wheels is clunky. But once you start finding that groove of the shots, it's a pretty fun game. So yeah, I kind of miss Rush Pro. I want another, like couple hours with that thing just to hang out.
I don't know. Fox says, I don't know, Tom, if you're still here, or Ray Day, I don't know if you're in chat. Do I miss Rush? Heck no! Get that garbage out of here. I don't miss that game at all. That game kicked my butt over and over and over again and was just brutal. And maybe it was just that. It got to the point where Ray Day was like, he's like, I think you just got a bad model, because that game, it destroyed me. And I mean, I get it. I understand why people do like Rush. I do think the code is really good. I'm a fan of John Borg. But what just frustrated the heck out of me was there was so much code there that I could never see, because I just kept getting wrecked in that game. So if I play others, like we're saying, if we go over to our buddy Derek's house, we can get a little further there. Yeah. Would I take one back and play the heck out of it for a month? Yes. I get it. I get why people like it. It did make me appreciate Rush music more. And I understand when people think it's incredible, like Dalton basically, he thinks Rush is better than Godzilla. Like, he was adamant about that. Yeah. I get it. I understand that.
100%.
But do I miss that game? Heck no.
You are not a fan of that.
I'm glad that game is no longer. That game was probably the meanest of all the games I've had in this house. Yeah. Bond Pro.
So when we had that thing to stream,
yeah,
that was the most painful streams we've ever had.
Yes.
End of story.
Yes.
Also, though, we had very early code.
Super early. Like straight.
Nothing was in the game.
No.
And it's amazing, right? Like, that really showed me it's like code is super important to a pinball machine because it shoots well. It's got some interesting shots.
It's a very unique layout.
Again, so I better walk away. Keep talking.
Jared, it's very good now. Yes, so 007. There are people now that I honestly think our view of Bond would be drastically different than when we streamed it. And I'm not asking for sympathy here. I'm not, but there are times where we stream games. It's awesome to get them early, but there are times that I feel like we don't get the best. We don't get the best actual representation of the game because changes are made and things are improved. That was something that I know we've definitely Bond was definitely the most drastic version of that, because now playing that game now, it is night and day better. I understand why. Hopefully, people got in at the right time, bought it when the game sucked, because now the game's great.
Yeah, and that's where I was going. Is then the next time I ran into a Bond. Yeah, I was at the Pinball Museum in Vegas, which I have my opinions about that thing.
I think it sucked. He did not have a great time,
but
with the pinball,
they had Bonds there.
Okay,
and I put some quarters in it. And I probably put $6-7 in it. And I was like, wow, okay, this is cool now. Like, it's you have the women were the Bond women
girls
got in there.
Had some multipliers in there.
You got the multipliers, you got the thing, and it was like, oh, this is a fun game. And there's part of me was like, I think we were struggling with that game so much even to play it because it was like painful to play it.
There just wasn't at the time. There was no incentive to do anything. Yeah. There was no. Like, if you complete X number of this, then you get to that. There was no that. It was just, what do you want to do? Do you want to play multi-ball or do you want to play mode? Oh, great. That's it.
Yeah. So to me, Bond Pro is on the miss it.
You do miss it.
If we had another opportunity at that thing, I put money into it when I see it. It's a great game.
Okay.
It's super fun.
Okay. I don't miss it. I don't miss it. I do like the layout, but this is just one of those games where even though the code has gotten way better, there wasn't anything in that layout that I think mechanically draws me in. Maybe the premium a little more, but it was a game that was not played at all when it was here at the house by people that don't care about code. There was just not really anything there, and it's a theme that doesn't scream for me in any way. I don't miss it, but for the Bond fanatics out there, I think you actually got a good game. It's at a point where you have a good game. Jurassic Park Premium. I borrowed this from my buddy Ryan. Shout out Ryan. We streamed it. What were your thoughts on Jurassic Park Premium?
I struggle with Jurassic Park.
Okay.
I would say it's a game that I've put a lot of time in on, outside of just the streaming and when it's here. I really, really, really want to like Jurassic Park. There's something about the way you progress through the map, and it's a frustrating game for me because I feel like you start getting somewhere and then you drain out and then you got to get back, and
So Franchi's here in chat. Franchi, how you doing, man? We already talked about Guardians, and Jared misses the art. He wants to translate, or he wants to banner.
I love the art. The art's
so
amazing,
fantastic job on that. And just for because you're here, we'll talk about Elton John next. So,
John's a tough
but yes,
one.
go ahead and finish. Jurassic Park. Okay.
I don't even know if I miss it. It's a good. I know it's a good pinball machine. I know I should like it more than I do.
Yeah.
I struggle with it every time I play it.
So there are a lot of people that make the argument, what's the best Elwyn? And most people's answer, it's either Godzilla or Jurassic Park. Godzilla or Jurassic Park. And I'm very grateful that Ryan let us borrow it because I was like, am I missing? What am I missing? Am I missing this? I do think the code in that game is incredibly good. And I think the layout is incredibly good. But I don't miss it. I don't know. Maybe we just weren't hitting shots. Or there's been times where I've started to, all of a sudden I'm closed a few paddocks and you start working and the game's building and it draws you in. But it's just, to me, in my small collection of 4 pins, do I think Jurassic Park fits the bill? No, I'm picking Godzilla over Jurassic Park. But for better players, people that can hit shots, the way that you can go through that game and progress through it it's incredible. So for people that like it or think it's a masterpiece, I get it. But do I personally miss it? I don't.
That's the struggle with it. I know it's a great game.
Yeah.
Like I mentally know it's a great game. I have walked past many of them.
Yep. Okay. We're going to go. This was in order. So we're going to skip ahead just because I know Franchi's here. Elton John. Do you miss?
Yes.
Oh, wait. Dad's tuning in. My insight. Godzilla weighed the most moving it up. And Dad's wrong. Dad, you forgot Hobbit.
Yeah,
when
Hobbit.
we moved Hobbit up, we asked Justin to come over. There were 3 people, 3 grown men over 6 foot tall moving that game.
Yeah.
But anyways, Elton John.
Elton John. Definitely miss it.
Why?
So, yet again, you'll find a little bit with my list. I love Elton John music, unabashedly.
Okay.
I think Elton John's one of the greatest artists.
For dad content. We should get Dad on here.
Dude, Dad's hot takes are, Dad hot takes are the best. I think whoever decided the song choices for that knew exactly what they were doing.
Yeah.
It's from his entire career.
Yeah.
It's a masterpiece I know there are people out there that are going to find out about how good Elton John is as an artist from that. Also, the art package was amazing.
Incredible.
Because they took all of his history and they did something really cool with it. It shoots really well. I feel like I didn't have enough time with that thing. That's one when we had a very short period of time and then I had to go back. And I would, to me, it's I could easily see Elton John being in my top 6 at some point if I got more time on it. Like it's not right now, but
Yeah.
man, it's good.
Ask how cheapo if he'd pay to ask. No, nah, he won't. Yeah, he's not gonna pay for that. Yeah. Howard, I remember asking on stream here about Jurassic Park vs. Godzilla for my first pin, and glad I got Godzilla. I agree. I think Godzilla is a much more friendly shooter than Jurassic Park. Elton John, do I miss Elton John? Absolutely, I do.
Great game.
Elton John, it has to be one of the biggest surprises to me in pinball.
100%.
It's a theme I did not care about, but like we have an Apple HomePod upstairs. We play Elton John music now because my kids loved Elton John. When I had that game, that was a game they asked for me to play with them.
Yeah.
Crocodile Rock, they thought the Crocodile was awesome.
So
and they
cool.
some of the music in Elton John, it's been in other kid movies. So like they know Still Standing, they know some of the songs. They loved Elton John. What's hilarious is they never understood that every person they saw was Elton John.
Yeah, well,
They're like, is that old Elton John? Who's that? That's Elton John. Like,
if you want to hear my opinions on Elton John over the years,
Yeah.
watch the stream we did because I talk a lot about that. But yeah,
I decree Jersey Jack gift both of you your very own Elton John premium edition to keep forever. Sign me up. I genuinely miss Elton John, and honestly, because Jersey Jack pins typically the resale value has gone down, I think there are genuinely a lot of people that are hoping people will sell their games so they can get one cheaper. Like I think there's a lot of people that want an Elton John pin. They're just trying to get one used. They're trying to pounce on one used, hoping it'll be cheaper, but nobody's selling them. I loved the way it shot. I loved the code was so easy to dive into. It was such an easy game to just step up and play and immediately have a good time on. The light show, the art package.
great.
It was, I really do miss Elton John.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to be a shill. If you want to buy one, Zach, flip it out. It was just, it blew me away. It blew me away with how much I enjoyed the game. It blew me away that my kids enjoyed the game. It blew me away that my wife enjoyed the game. That game is only going to go up. More and more people are going to own that game and want to own that game.
They just did an awesome job with that.
I very much miss that game.
Yeah.
I very, very much miss that game. Okay, so that was Elton John. Let's keep chugging along. Foo Fighters Pro. What do you remember about it? Do you miss it?
I don't miss it. It's a really good machine. I think it's a really good music machine. There's something about the lower shot to start to do the van to get into the modes. I just struggle with that shot, and it's not my favorite shot ever.
The left ramp.
Yeah,
You can backhand it.
I feel like some of the modes are really hard.
Okay.
I don't know. It's a great game. Like I'll put money into it, but I don't ever like be like, oh man, I really wish I could play some Foo Fighters. Like it's really good for what it is. They did a great job with the IP. If you're a Foo Fighters fan, you'll love it. Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of one of those.
So you don't miss it?
Nah.
Okay. My thoughts on Foo Fighters. I think they basically made a unlicensed theme out of a licensed game. They made this really fun Saturday cartoon alien story. The art is incredible. I really enjoyed that side of it. It's very lighthearted and fun. Plus, you have good music on top of it. I think they crushed all that. I also think the layout is very fun. Like the way Jack's layout and the way you can combo certain shots, I really enjoyed. The code, though, I enjoyed the code. I liked the code. But it reminded me so much of Deadpool that I'm like, is this just a better Deadpool? Like, because the code's deeper, there's more to do?
There's no chimichanga trucks.
Well,
There's
yeah,
no
I
Deadpool.
get it, yeah.
There's no little Deadpool. There's no unicorns.
I get it, but where I
Deadpool.
struggle was the van. I like the concept of the van and upgrading all your modes, but maybe I'm just I just get too focused on things because I found myself focusing so much on trying to upgrade my modes before I played them that all of a sudden I'm just spending so much time hitting the van shots that I've taken this awesome game and I've just focused on one area of it over and over and over again, and that really bothered me. And that I couldn't ignore it. I couldn't, because if I was in a mode and I'm playing the mode and I'm thinking, man, if I would have maxed out my bombs, I would have been able to do this faster. And so I just struggled with that, and that's a me problem. But if people are into Foo Fighters, that's a great game. But have I been tempted to own it again? I haven't. I think I would have gone premium if I would, but it's not one for me that I've been tempted to want to buy. Now, with that said, though, when we streamed it, we had a good time. We had a fun time. We were laughing a lot. It's fun. I remember the first time we got to whatever that mode where it was like the chiptune song. And
it's great. Yeah.
It was awesome.
It's an awesome game.
I'm going to be organizing my boxed action figures in the office closet, but I'm not. So that's awesome. Dude, Christopher Franchi, I started following him on Facebook. He showed pictures of his of his Creature from the Black Lagoon themed bathroom, and it's incredible. Like, Chris, I wish you would just do more pictures of your house or a walkthrough, because I have no doubt your toy collection is insane.
I need to send Franchi some pictures of my toy collection.
It's awesome. Bond 60th.
Okay, Bond 60th. I think this one's easy. If you can play one. It's cool. It's definitely a throwback. It shoots well, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Is it a game? Is it like super memorable other than it was super expensive? No. But also, it's really cool for what it is. Of a single stage. It's kind of a bummer. There's only, 500 in the world of that?
Yeah.
If you see one, play one. It's great. That's about all I think about it.
I think it's incredible. Like, it's a very fun, incredible layout. The game is hard. We invited our buddy Ryan over to play with us because he's much better than we are, and he could do more in the game. So it's very addicting. What's funny is Ryan, like, after being on that stream, he's talked about wanting to buy one because of that challenge that's there. I get it, especially now that the price has come down and people can get them for cheaper. Do I miss it? No. As of right now, I'm totally fine with the one single level play field game that I have, which is TNA. And I do enjoy TNA more than Bond 60th. Sure, the code's probably better in Bond 60th with the different modes and whatnot, but man, the sound is so great in TNA. I don't miss it. What's funny though is we were at our buddy Derek's house, and Jared and I both played Beatles. We've never borrowed Beatles.
Beatles is awesome.
We only played 2 games on Beatles, and both of us, when we came home...
You played 2 games. I played like 10.
When we came home, out of his entire collection, we were talking about Beatles. Like, we were like, holy cow, awesome. That game is awesome. Like, shout out for Christopher Franchi. Awesome art. But that layout is incredibly addicting. There's something about ripping loops, and the
loops are so
that
good.
Was one of those things. I came away and I was like, Beatles is awesome.
Yeah.
Like, that is... Honestly, it's nothing against Keith Elwin or Bond 60th, but I would take a Beatles. I would take a Beatles over a Bond 60th if I wanted another single level type game. I was super impressed with it. I'm not a Beatles fan, but I had a blast on Beatles.
Mm-hmm.
A blast on Beatles. All right, here we go. Spider-Man Vault. Spider-Man Vault was kind of an interesting one. Zach had got one in on trade, and it was right after Venom was announced. Mm-hmm. So we're like, let's stream it, just to kind of hype the Spider-Man theme, and also just trying to build the portfolio of the games that we've streamed. So I was really glad that I was able to stream it. I think we only streamed it once. Maybe we streamed it twice. What do you remember about Spider-Man Vault?
All right, so here's going to blow your mind. Put Spider-Man Vault in the top 6.
What? Okay,
so Spider-Man Vault. Now, this may we add, if Batman 66 was on this list, it would replace Spider-Man Vault. Okay. Spider-Man Vault is definitely over at Mom and Dad's house.
Okay.
Here's the thing.
Oh, it's at Mom and Dad's.
It's at Mom and Dad's. Here's the thing about Spider-Man Vault. Every time I see one on location, I play it. I loved it when we played over there. It's got those cool shots up the middle. It flows really well. The theming is awesome. Like, it's just a fun, like, it's honestly what sometimes pinball is too smart. And it's just like, it's a Spider-Man game. You just be Spider-Man. And there's Venom in there.
Yeah.
And there's Sandman. And there's, what is it? Falcon? Not Falcon. The bad
Doc
guy.
Ock. Venom.
Like, it's just in the modes. You're kind
of Green Goblin.
You get into modes, and you're doing stuff, and you're hitting shots, and it's like, oh, and then Sandman's out, so you go hit it up the middle, and you do that a couple of times. Like, it's just fun. And so I like Spider-Man is very easy for me of like, I love that game. It's similar to me with Batman 66. It's just, I like walking up and playing it.
Okay. They're very different games. They're drastically different games.
But in my mind, they're the same. But
Spider-Man, and I think it's funny because I think it's a DMD level game. And there's something about, same thing with Metallica, where you flip on one of those older Sterns and the game is just on. So if you just want to play a quick game, you're like, flip, boom, you can play while all these games take like 30 seconds to boot up. There's just something about that of like, I'm going to play a quick game, flip, boom, and you're playing.
Yeah.
My son misses Spider-Man Vault. He really enjoyed it while I was here. I love the DMD artwork in this. This would be a similar thing where they're like, hey, we're going to rerun Spider-Man Vault. Should we put movie clips in it? No. I love the DMD. Just give me a bigger one. Give me the freaking XL. Give me a bigger one. Have I been tempted to buy it again? I haven't been tempted to buy it. Some people, I saw Travis here, but he goes, Star Trek or Spider-Man? Spider-Man's made by Steve Ritchie, the same guy who did Elton John. So... And Star Trek has a very similar layout.
I would probably get a Star Trek over a Spider-Man.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
But with this list of things about it, but Spider-Man is a very good, like, I really enjoy that game.
That was a fun game. It was a fun game. Have I been tempted to buy it? I personally haven't. I just don't. I'm trying to remember the code. I feel like I got pretty far, but then I feel like there was one wizard mode that's like, it's just so far out to actually feel like I could beat the game. So, yeah. It's like superhero. I forget what it is, but I don't particularly miss it, but it is a good game. It is a good game. Okay. Venom. We had the Pro, and then we went from the Pro to the Premium. So, first off, Jared, do you remember the differences between the Pro and the Premium?
The Premium had the moving shot, right?
The main ramp in the middle would move between your characters.
Here's what we're gonna. But I'm gonna do Venom in a box, right?
Okay.
So Venom out of the box. First time I played it, super cool. You get to choose the different characters.
Your host.
The moving. The action of the ball on the Premium. Really cool. It's a fun game. The what is that? The experience counters and all that stuff. I think it's
XP, the leveling up system. Yeah.
I think it's a really cool idea. I had no problem with that.
Yep.
But at the end of the day, Venom, it's one of those, once it was out of your house, I haven't thought about Venom since then. Okay. So it's a cool, now I think about Spider-Man Vault.
Okay. Because you miss it. You miss it apparently.
And here's the thing. I know there was a lot of controversy about the XP, and I know all that stuff. I think it's a really good game, but it's not for me. And
people are calling out your butt. I'm sensing a big butt.
No,
they knew it was coming. Yeah.
It's just, I don't know. Like I'm just, it's kind of one of those. I haven't thought a lot about it. And part of the problem is a lot of these near the bottom have been such bangers.
I know.
And there's one we're going to talk about that's going to surprise people. Yeah.
Okay, Venom. So Travis says a lack of personality.
Yes.
I love Dwight.
Yes.
I love Dwight, but you're right. There was something about, you would start certain modes and the screen would just be blank. And honestly, what was just watching a background. And it was good looking, but it just... Okay, so let me ask you this.
It would almost be better if there were only two spider choices at the
two hosts. Okay, so my question to you is the whole point of the XP system or the leveling up system was for people that aren't crazy good players to experience more depth of the game or possibly experience the final wizard mode over time.
Yeah.
Was that something that you liked?
I don't know. It kind of got stressful at times.
Okay.
Because it was like I was putting so much time into the machine, and it was like, but I'm not seeing this mode. And yet again, probably if I owned one, I'd put in the time and things like that. I don't know. And honestly, I think it's one of those of it. They were casting such a wide net.
Okay.
And there's so much, and it's so wide, and it's like, maybe if you just narrowed it down a little bit. So you have the 4 different spiders, and then you have the 4 different bad guys, and to get the bonuses, you have to like really have been doing well to get all those bonuses to add up for the guys to get the really cool like power ups and things like
So
that.
you had to do the mini modes.
Yeah.
And the mini modes were combos. So you had to do 2 combos on that color, 2 combos on that color, 2 combos on that color. And then your 2 shots for that, 2 shots for that, 2 shots for that. Then you were qualified to do the battle. And I remember you got the battle because you fought the first one on the left. I forget. And that was a big deal for you. But once you got through him, which you did,
Yes.
You then had to complete that again to get to Grendel, the dragon, and Grendel wrecked you.
Yeah.
But that was something I found in the game that, do I miss Venom? I don't. I don't miss the pro. The premium, you got to go premium all the way. It's a shame.
We need to keep moving because we got a lot to talk about.
I only have a few more.
I know, but we got a lot to talk about.
Okay, so he has a lot to talk about them. I think I like what Dwight did with the code. I like the XP system because I enjoyed the grind to get all the way to the final wizard mode. Noel, once I was able to beat him, unlock new characters. I love that, to be able to play the game in a unique way with Hulk or Wolverine. I really enjoyed that. It's just, to me, the game itself, there wasn't any mech that I could tell a random person, like, hit this to experience something fun. And it's kind of complex. Like, my wife had no idea what to do. And it just... I don't know. There's a lot there that I hope Dwight takes some of those ideas into his next game, but it just wasn't. I don't miss it. I don't miss it. That's kind of the yep. Rick and Morty. Once again, we borrowed this from our buddy Ryan. Rick and Morty. What do you remember about the game?
It's the funniest game I've ever played. It's super frustrating. It's definitely made by I don't want to say like lower tier pinball manufacturer.
It's made by Spooky. Okay.
Which is hard to say because Spooky made TNA.
Yeah. Scott Denisi made TNA, which is who designed Rick and Morty.
They should have let him just make TNA Part 2. That's all we need. I don't know. Is it hilarious? Yes. There were shots on there that I still don't know how you hit them, and that's frustrating as heck on a machine. It seems really cool. I bet if you own one, it's great. To me, like if you had room and you owned a Rick and Morty, it's the best game of like, yo, come over and play Rick and Morty. It's pure insanity. Don't miss it at all.
Wow. Okay. I do miss it. I will agree with Jared. It's the funniest game we've ever played. We were dying on stream. So many good quotes. I really like the code. Eric Pripke did the code, and the way the modes are very unique. But the layout is brutal. It's brutally hard. We didn't borrow that from Ryan. We borrowed that from Chris. And Chris had put on precision flippers. That helped.
Yes.
That helped a lot because it gave us more power to hit certain shots. But I also feel like if it was mine, I feel like I would have tweaked the game more. I would have tweaked the angle of the flippers or a little bit of the geometry of it.
That's what Travis is saying.
I just feel like you got to do all the massages to it. I feel like there's a chance you could get that game a lot more dialed in because I really enjoyed the code. It's just that layout was so brutal. It would hold us back from getting certain places in the code.
That feels to me like one of those games that people will buy it, love it, like massage it, get it to a point, and then
it'll never leave.
It'll never leave. And then like people will come over and be like, "This is the best game ever." Like it's got all this stuff. Yeah. I guess I just have a little problem of if you have to do that much work on a game, it's frustrating. Anyway,
that's fair. That's fair.
We need. Okay.
All right, Jared. Do you remember Labyrinth?
Do I remember Labyrinth?
I'm just going to move the mic directly in front of him.
I don't. Do I remember Labyrinth? Give him... Someone earlier asked what would be the number one machine that I'd buy right now. And it is Labyrinth by far. Period. Exclamation point. I'd buy every mod. I'd buy everything to it. Now, part of it is I love Labyrinth, the movie.
Yeah.
I'm not as deep as some people. But Labyrinth is great. It's one of my favorite. I love Jim Henson's work and things like that. Okay, boom. Then you get to this other side story. Labyrinth is a weird movie. And there is no reason for a pinball machine to be good.
Would El Cheapo throw down for Labyrinth? No. No.
So, Labyrinth is awesome. It's the only game I've ever wanted to own, really. Honestly, I'm like looking, they're in my room. I'm like, can I get away with it? And then I'd have to sell my Magic cards, and I'm sorry, Magic is more fun than Labyrinth. But it's really dang close right now. Okay? So, Labyrinth, it's fun. It's the only game I've wanted to progress in further because it's funny where it's like there are different modes, but yet they all feel very unique and they're different, and you're doing different shots and you're shooting all over that board, and it's got weird little hidden shots in the top that you start getting into. Like the more you play it, the more fun it is.
Yeah.
And it's fun the first time you play it, and they pick the perfect footage from it, and it's quick but yet long. It's just, and I love it. It's obviously a passion project. The people that made it, like, love the movie. They treated it right, every piece of point. I think it's one of the most brilliant things that I've ever seen in this like thing. And what's interesting is when we were at I want to say MagicCon, because I was in Chicago where I was last Friday.
Expo, Chicago.
When we were at
Expo,
Expo,
yep.
right? They had Pulp Fiction, which is one of my favorite movies, and I put a couple on it. And I'm walking past Labyrinth, and I'm like, that's going to be the coolest game ever. I didn't even play it at Expo. And then
the line was so long.
And then we got the
Yeah.
beautiful opportunity to play it, and it was like, this is one of the coolest things ever. I don't just miss it. I would own it so much. I love it. Yeah, I think it's going to go down in history. And you know what? It's probably not a pro player game. The pro players out there are going to be like,
they
oh,
can
I
blow
beat
it
it.
up.
And
Yeah.
you know what? I don't care about you pro players. It's just fun. All right? Sometimes pinball needs fun. So, anyway, that's Labyrinth by far. It's the best.
I agree. I genuinely miss Labyrinth. That game, it's a theme I've never cared about. I hadn't seen the movie until I heard the game was announced, so I watched the movie. I am a Jim Henson fan. We grew up on the Muppets. We've always loved that, but I'd never seen the movie. Once I saw the movie, I was like, they integrated this thing so well. I do miss the game. I miss it a lot. Once again, Eric Pripke code. So each mode is very unique and very fun. Like, I genuinely enjoyed playing every mode in the game because of how different they feel. I also love what they did with the mechanical side of it. Travis, applaud. You know, all the applause to you. The way the layout was built in a way where certain, you know, like the oubliette mode, where it's every shot you could do it in two different ways.
So cool.
And I just really loved it.
You go into the bog and you get smelly,
I know,
and then
and
you get
and the
it's
to
got
collect the orb.
Sir Didymus in it.
To collect the orb, you had to shoot under that right flipper and the worm. It's done so well. Johnny Crap crushed it on the art. The art was incredibly well done. Have I wanted to own it? I've always wanted to own it just for Jared. But do I own it, or have I put my name on a list? As much as I love it, I haven't. And the only reason I haven't is it's very brown. So just, even though the art is awesome,
But the movie's brown.
I know it's fitting. I will tell you though, that because of how well the game was designed mechanically, because of how good the code was, I'm so excited for whatever's coming next for Barrels of Fun.
Oh, yeah.
Because
100%.
if it happens to be a theme that I am in on, like really love, then I would probably have a hard time saying no to the game.
It's funny you say that, because you were talking about Princess Bride earlier, and it popped up in my Facebook screen, and I was like, wait, did Barrels of Fun announce their next game?
No,
Oh, I bet it's
Mortal.
going to be great.
I know,
And then
I
I
know.
clicked on it and I said, no, it's not. Now I never have to think about this again.
Yeah.
So that's how excited for their next thing
I
am too.
I just feel like they've kind of gone the way of like the Bally Williams love of it's very accessible. The code, it's not so deep that you have to be a crazy, really good player to see everything. I mean, yes, I think to actually beat the game and see the final wizard mode, you have to get 13 orbs, which is probably near impossible. But for us, it was like Goblin City, you had to do 6 modes.
But
that's something that is
keep
possible.
Playing that game to try to get to 13.
It was awesome.
That's how it's
an
so
awesome.
good.
So anybody that's watching this afterwards or in chat now, if you've pre-ordered a Labyrinth, you've made a good choice. You will like that game. That game, buy the topper. Get on it now. We didn't have it here, but it is a game that I miss.
Can I buy a topper by itself?
You could and just put it on a shelf. Yeah.
It's a work of art. It's
Travis Sinister. Oh, you have Dream Themes. If you're making Batman the Animated Series right now, I know it's not. That's so far left field. But if you're making Batman the Animated Series right now, that is my number one dream theme. Batman the Animated Series. I love Batman. I'm wearing a Batman shirt. It's probably hard to see on camera.
Blade Runner.
Batman the Animated Series. Blade Runner would be up there, but
okay.
There's a lot of good games. Anyways, okay. Labyrinth. I do miss it. It's in Jared's top 6. I understand why. Have I been like tempting to buy? Yes, but not enough that I haven't pulled the trigger because I just haven't.
Yeah.
Alien.
I miss this game so much.
Okay. Tell us why.
Okay, this is a game that we played. I played at one of your buddy's house one time.
Yep.
It literally crashed on me.
Yep.
And I was like, this is stupid.
Yep.
And then when you told me we were going to stream Alien, I was like, that is one of the most garbage games that's been ever made, right? Like, it's just garbage. It's so bad. And I love Alien. The movies I'm obsessed with. Okay? So but I was like, this is awful, right? But it was one of those games where the more you played it and the more you got into it and the modes and the call outs and the screen, and it was like, the Alien's its own like pinball machine.
Mm-hmm.
It's only Alien access way. The shots are only Alien shots. It's weird and stuff. But when you get into the flow of that thing and you start going through and the kind of the hurry up modes on it, and it was like, this is so good.
Yeah.
And yes, it looks cheap at times, right? Like the face huggers just look awful. But that's where I go get a little paint, put a little normal oil on that.
Yeah, Jared's
make them
into
nice. Like you can make it so nice.
Yeah, Jared's into Warhammer minifigs. So when he looks at certain sculpts, he's thinking like he wants to redo. He wants me to take Mechagodzilla out of Godzilla so he can do some stuff. So, do I miss Alien? I do. I do miss Alien, which is hilarious because I was in the same boat as you. When Zach was like, "Hey, I'm going to send you an Alien to stream," it was kind of one of those like, like that sounds so lame. Like, I'm complaining. But every experience I had at Alien at a bar or at a show was negative. It just wasn't.
You got to have the headphones in.
That's the key.
That's what Travis said in chat.
Or who said it in chat? David Thiel. Yeah, Travis. David Thiel, which is the sound designer of the game, is one of the main reasons why game is so freaking good. I want an Alien pretty bad, but I have really little kids.
Yeah, it's a scary. It's an adult game, right? Like it's scary. It's why I could probably never own one in my house.
Yeah,
but man, I mean, I could spend hours. You plug in the front, you put on some headphones.
There is no headphone jack. That's a problem.
I know. I would figure out how to put one in.
I had to jerry rig it real bad to get it.
But it needs jerry rigged.
There is my issue with the Alien is the layout. There are one of the key shots in the game is it's the cryovac shot or the cryo freeze shot, which is like an upper ramp. The only way to do it is you have to feed an upper right flipper. To feed that flipper is really hard to do. You have to feed the left lower flipper to then hit a shot to feed the right upper flipper and then hit the shot. And that is a key shot. And I was very close to actually seeing the final wizard mode of the game. I had one. I put it up on. I put the video on. So it is one of those games where you can get lucky and start to string things together and progress through the game. But I think they integrated the theme incredibly well. It just, in my opinion, if the shot layout was a little better, and if the game was built, if the quality of the build was a little higher, I would consider it. It really was a huge surprise for us on how much we enjoyed that game once we really dove into it and played it and were able to get immersed in the game and the sound package.
It's gonna be like the hipster pinball machine at some point. It's where like people will be like, yo, like in 10 years, people will be like, yo, Alien, like what's up with that?
Yeah.
And it's out of and that's the bummer. It's like everything that could go wrong has gone wrong with that machine. The companies have gone out of business. Like it
went out of it. It's come back. It's
crazy,
reliable now,
and it stinks because it's like, gosh darn it. It's so cool.
I think though, David Thiel is the sound engineer in that game. It honestly is probably 70% of why we enjoyed it.
It just feels like
it was so well done.
It's perfect.
All right,
from that point of view.
We only have 2 left.
Yep.
Elvira, House of Horrors, Blood Red Kiss Edition is the one that we had.
So Blood Red Kiss Edition is beautiful.
Yes.
It's way like I love the art of the original one, but the Blood Red Kiss now, I mean, I'm wearing black and I mean, it's my favorite.
Black and white and red.
I had donuts with Dad with my 5-year-old today, and he said, "Dad, your favorite color is black." And I was like, "Yeah, it probably is, son. You see me mostly in black, right?" Here's the thing. So Elvira gets a special spot as number 7 because
it's going to Mom and Dad's house?
No. It goes below it because there's no place I can put that machine.
Yeah.
I'm dead. It's like there is 0 place it is, and that is what Elvira is. And God bless. And I'm not. There's no shame on it. Elvira is the thing, but if you can move past, honestly, my honest opinion is all they need to do is you take Elvira, then you take Mystery Science Theater 3000, which is basically the same thing as Elvira, and you just put Mystery Science Theater 3000 on Elvira, and then you have an easy top 6 game.
Yeah, but there's like the crypt, and there's like the coffin lock. And
the crypt is the spaceship of blood. Like you
can do it.
You could do it so easily. And you put in all the stuff. That's literally the only problem with Elvira. It's an amazing game. It's super fun. I love the bad movies, and they got so many great shots from it. Primarily because all those movies are in public domain because they're so bad. Okay, but the problem is I just can never have one in my house.
Okay, do I miss Elvira? Elvira, I understand. I understand why it's loved the way it's loved.
It's great.
I genuinely do. I'm with Jared. There's 0 chance I will ever own this game. This is the only game I've owned that apparently scared my 3.5-year-old son.
It did.
So, people were worried about Alien. I never played Alien around him. But I thought Elvira, it was okay, but the floating heads, it just... So, my wife hates it for multiple reasons.
Yep.
But it also scared him, but I understand why the code is a masterpiece. I also really enjoyed the layout. It was a great game. It was a great game. Do I think you need the Blood Red Kiss edition to enjoy? No, I think if you can get a regular premium,
they're both
go
beautiful,
for it.
But the Blood Red is awesome.
It did stand out. There was no denying that it stood out.
Okay, so Joel, we're in an interesting position. You have 2 open slots left on your side. I have 1.
Yeah, or I just
That's interesting.
I was going to do it at the end. I was going to fill it out.
Oh, you're going to do it at the end.
Yeah. So Jaws, we currently have it.
Hey, it's right there.
But it's leaving. It will leave. Mm-hmm. So right now, if you had to make a decision on Jaws, will you miss the game?
You bolt that thing to the ground and keep on going.
Okay.
It is. We can get into Jaws, but you bolt it to the ground.
So you would put
it's not at Mom and Dad's. It's up there.
So who's going to Mom and Dad's?
TNA is going to Mom and Dad's.
TNA. We're gonna put 2 brutal games at Mom and Dad's house. You're gonna put TNA.
Hey, I don't care about people's feelings like you do. All right.
Yeah.
I'm here to play awesome games.
Okay. I probably could have typed this faster, but so this is if you could set my lineup of 4 games. That's what Jared's saying right here. If you could set my lineup of 4 games, you would put my 4-game lineup as Deadpool Premium, Jaws Premium would be my guess.
Yeah,
so
Premium.
You haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, we haven't played it, but yeah.
Godzilla Premium and Labyrinth.
Hell yeah.
And then you're saying TNA and Spider-Man Vault at Mom and Dad's.
Yep.
Okay. Why
Jaws?
Jaws is only 0.85 code. 0.85.
Don't care.
Okay.
So it's only getting better.
Yes.
It's only in theory, it's only getting better. Okay. So here's the deal. I could care less that the shark doesn't eat the ball.
Okay.
If anyone comes to me and goes, the shark doesn't eat the ball, I literally will roll my eyes at the back of my head and move on because it would make the game worse. I 100% believe Elwin when he says that they tried it, it didn't work, and they took it out. Okay?
Yeah.
Period. All right? So here's the thing. Jaws shoots like a dream. It flows so much better. It flows better than Godzilla. I said it. I believe it. Yep. I know you disagree. I don't care.
I don't think it flows better than Godzilla is definitely an easier shooter. It's
No,
definitely an
but
easier shooter.
Jaws, so many of the shots bring the ball back to your flippers, and what are we doing? Just shooting balls again.
Yeah.
Right? Like Godzilla kind of gets hung up a little bit on the top of it. But this game is you're hitting a shot, it's coming back, you're hitting another shot. You're having a good time. When you get in the groove of it. Now, this is one where when I walk up to it, it's brutal.
Yeah.
But after about 10 minutes, I'm now into Jaws mode and I'm just swinging. And there's so many different.
It flows like my first batch of urine in the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, it takes a little while to go. But once you get going, it like the theme, they got the theme of the movie spot on. The modes are super creative. They're different enough. The thing about Jaws is when I first looked at it, I said, this looks like a really simple layout. It's going to get really boring really quickly. And what I realized is what they did is they have just the right amount of shots on it. They've got just the right amount of little things going on. You got that third flipper up top, which I know you get super excited about keeping it up there.
Flip lock.
The flip lock's really cool. And then you start, but what the thing is like, so the way it feeds that third flipper is it forces you to start shooting across. And the first time we played it, it didn't even have the gear in it, right?
Yeah,
the gear wasn't even in it.
Win, yeah, the items,
so I wasn't even shooting over that. And then they put the gear in and was like, oh crud, this is cool. This is another thing. It's better. It's a way better version than like Foo Fighters has those pop-ups on the left, right?
Yeah.
So hate hitting those, love hitting them on this. Then you have that weird you don't even think about it on the left side. It's this weird shot, right? So you either hit it off the third flipper, or you
it's where the left orbit would be, but it's not an orbit. 180's back,
and then sometimes it goes up,
yep.
And then even on the upper flipper, you can hit it up the top of it too, and come around, and you're getting a multiplier, and it's just, gosh darn it, like. There's something about it This has been one of probably the only games, because I still don't fully understand Godzilla. I'm shooting shots and trying to get to a multi-ball, having a great time. It's great, but I don't fully understand.
I can explain it. We'll stream it again.
You've explained it to me 5 times. I still don't get it. Okay.
Okay.
But Jaws.
We have a teleprompter now. I can draw pictures.
I hate the teleprompter. But Jaws.
Telestrator. Yeah.
Yeah, but Jaws is just cool. Because it's like, it's been the first game where it's like, okay, I get where this is coming from. And it's just, I don't know. I think everybody needs to move on past this stupid shark not eating anything.
Yeah.
And just realize it is a freaking good game. And it flows, and it's easy for me.
So first off, people are making fun of your gosh darn it and your G Willikers, your which is so great. And then
I'm trying to cuss less in my life.
Rumor, we'll talk about. So rumored games. There's Back to the Future, Metallica. I've told you before, Metallica. I'd be very, very tempted to jump on that if it came out. Other rumored games, like if there was Circus Voltaire or Tales of the Arabian Night, I'd be tempted. Anyways, but. Jaws. Jaws is awesome. We've said it before. I've said it on Triple Drain. The initial reveal of it, I was like, all right. But now that I've had it, it's the brilliance of the layout. The code is only getting better. It's been awesome talking to like Elizabeth Gieske and what she's clearly passionate about the direction of the code. I know Keith looks at everything. He looks at all the streams and he listens to feedback and he adjusts and he balances. And my wife played Jaws by herself, and she came upstairs and she goes, Jaws has to be one of the best pinball machines you've had. She goes, that fin popping up, and the moment of it coming down and hitting that fin, she experienced that. She's like, that's one of the best things I've ever done in pinball. She's, I don't know. I just think, I think I might end up having to buy this game. And that's something where I'm holding out. I've had a blast on the Pro, but I've got to experience the premium. I have to experience the premium before I make a decision on whether or not I'm going to buy it. So, because of that, I will say, if Jaws Pro left right now, would I miss it? I would. Will I buy a Jaws Pro? I will not. I will not buy a Jaws Pro. I'm waiting for the premium.
Because you're fancy.
So,
all right.
If I had to fill out my list today, if I was like, I'm done streaming. So the slot that I leave open for a game to stream, what would I put in that slot? The game that I would put in that slot right now is Stranger Things Premium. That is the game that I would put in that slot. Stranger Things Premium. That's what I would put in that slot. Now, if it was up to me and I can just pick whatever the 6th game is, what I'm trying to think is I'm trying to take into account who is Jared, JK. What I'm trying to take into account is this is my parents' house. This is my parents' house, so the game needs to be friendly. Like it needs to fit that. So I kind of what I've said, I'd be between Toy Story 4, NBA Fastbreak. But honestly, I think Jared's kind of selling me on Labyrinth. Maybe I would put Labyrinth at my parents' house because that's a family-friendly theme. Jared can geek out on it, play it whenever he wants. So I'm thinking Labyrinth might make sense, actually. I know I would get the most fun playing Labyrinth over Toy Story 4 or NBA Fastbreak.
I think Labyrinth fits into your crazy self-imposed rules perfect.
But I think I would be between Labyrinth and Toy Story 4 on just fun. But I don't think... If I look at the game that it's going to be at my parents' house, what's a game that I know I want to go over and...
Can you spell Labyrinth right?
Did I... It's with a V. Yeah. I think I'd put Labyrinth. I think this... I've actually never thought about this. Would I buy a Labyrinth just to put at mom and dad's? Maybe. Hot Guard. Oh, he's talking about TS4.
Yeah, TS4.
Good morning, Retroson. How you doing, man? How you doing? You've seen this. It's spoiled at this point. You've seen what we did, but I think if I'm looking through my list here, and people say, okay, of the games you missed, pick 2. You can buy those 2 right now. I think the top 2 would be Stranger Things Premium, Labyrinth, but I'll tell you what, Elton John is right up there.
Elton John's
I really miss Elton John. So Image Junkie, I'm a game junkie, not even close. This list is games that I've experienced in my house.
Okay, we're gonna make.
So Walking Dead is one that I have not.
Yeah, Walking Dead's good.
Yeah.
We're going to make an adjustment to my list.
Okay, got it.
Because now looking at this, take out Spider-Man Vault, put in El John.
Okay. Yeah. Yes, I think, honestly, you would get, long term, I think you would get more out of Elton John.
Looking at this list.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel much better about that. And it would almost be one of those where, like, I'd put, like, Godzilla on a mom and dad's, then put Elton John here. Like...
that's actually not... I've thought about that. I've thought about what game actually makes sense to put at mom and dad's right now. Like, what's a more accessible game that more people could play? I've thought about putting Godzilla at mom and dad's. I've thought about putting Cactus Canyon at mom and dad's. But the reason I like having them here is because they're so accessible. Yeah. Anybody can play them here.
Godzilla's
so at some point in time, I might have to split that up. And maybe if I ended up getting a Jaws, then I would be more willing to split up Jaws and Godzilla, but we'll feel that. Man, mom and dad's must rock. They got turtles right now.
They're really
They've got, I put 2 arcade cabinets over there, and they have 1 pinball machine, and then we got dad a Papa Shot.
Yeah.
Papa Shot. He's a basketball guy. So,
Woo!
There you go. Oh. So hopefully that was enjoyable. I mean, I was watching the viewers. It looks like people stuck around. So hopefully that conversation was enjoyable. Jared, you have actual pinball thoughts and opinions and all that.
You see, when you're not talking about rules the entire time, I actually have opinions about what's going on around here. So
yeah. Well, cool. Dude, everybody in chat, thank you so much. It was a very active chat. That was a very enjoyable conversation. If you're watching this after the fact on YouTube, feel free to comment, subscribe, all the things. Tell us why we're wrong. Tell us why we should miss this or should miss that. But these were all games that I've had in my house or in my possession for a few weeks at a time, sometimes months, sometimes years. And so that's what's really neat about this hobby is you can put time on a game and usually sell that game and get your money back out of it. And that's like what I would say is people with a collection, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to own a game. And if you find yourself not playing it as much or find yourself getting bored, just sell it, because worst case, you buy it back or you get it. Like TNA, I sold it, and after it was out of my house for a year, I realized like I have to have that game back. So awesome. But yeah, I'm glad people enjoyed it. I think we might have Pulp Fiction next week. I think Zach, we might, if everything works out, we might have Pulp Fiction next week. Next Wednesday is my birthday. Next Wednesday is my birthday. So it'll be a birthday stream. It should be a good time, and hopefully Pulp Fiction is here.
Are we
and
gonna
we
have
have a new
party
game to play.
hats?
You mean our normal hats? Yeah. Nice lifestyle brand. Hey, so this hat, I own this hat. It's this mesh, this gray mesh with a black.
You love that mesh.
It's this exact hat. I had a custom TNA one made, and I had a custom the Pinball Network one made. And guess what Stern sells now? It is the exact hat, but with a Stern patch. Where they got the idea? I don't know.
This is a conspiracy theory that Stern is secretly watching us.
Yeah.
Joel will be 36?
36 next year.
Dang.
Or next week. So yes, everybody, hey, thanks again. Thanks again to everybody who's here. Feel free to come back next Wednesday, same time, 10 to midnight. Jared, this was a lot of fun. I'm glad you had it. Yeah.
We should do this more often.
Well, yeah, we should. Yeah, we could do that.
So then I can actually talk instead of you just explaining rules. So
Jared loves rules. Yes.
I hate them.
All right. Hey, everybody have a great night. And
Bye.
we'll see you next